Is he on? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
If it was in Edison, it's a different story. If he's building in Edison.
No. Yeah, no.
We'll talk.
Okay.
No, no problem.
I'm not voting for this. These people. Yeah, I am just letting you know.
Good evening, everyone. This is the combined meeting of June 10th. It's 6 p.m. meeting. I just want to call a meeting to order. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brusher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Dima.
Here.
Councilmember Kentos.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil. Councilmember Shmuel.
Here.
Adequate notice.
Adequate notice of this meeting is, as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, and Desi Talk on November 17, 2025, and posted main lobby municipal complex on that same date.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I just want to make some brief remarks on today's agenda. Good evening, everyone. For those who are attending for the first time, welcome. You may follow along on the agenda provided at the back table. You have 4 minutes to speak on public comments and resolutions and oral petition remarks at the portion of the meeting agenda. If you're watching from home, please visit edisonnj.gov. Click on Departments, then click Council, then select Council Agenda, so you can follow along with the meeting. If you have any further questions or comments, you may email me at jcoyle@edisonnj.gov. Also, if you're looking for any backup of spending, it's also right in the back on the table. If you have any questions, please let me know in your comments, and the clerk will provide you a copy of that spending item. Thank you. Okay, moving along to unfinished business. Ordinance for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. At this time, we're going to move this to the June 24th meeting. This ordinance is 2280-2026. Any questions or comments from council members? Moving forward, ordinance 02281-2026. Any questions or comments? Ordinance 2282-2026. Any questions or comments? Council members, adding to the agenda proposed ordinance 2283, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Edison accepting an easement on the portion of Block 124, Lot 20.04, along with Route 27 in the vicinity of 2193, 2195 Lincoln Highway and Route 27 for maintenance purposes. Any questions on adding that to the agenda? We'll vote on that. We have to vote on that later, adding it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we don't, right?
Right? Not here.
No,
To vote, yeah, but no problem. Council members, on 6, review of the council minutes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none for each department. Any questions or comments from the business administrator, line 7A? Moving to 8 from the Department of Finance, letter A, B, C, D, E, and F. Any questions or comments from council members? Hearing none, moving to the Department of Planning and Engineering, 9. Letter A, B, C. Any questions or comments on the Department of Planning and Engineering?
Council President?
Yes, council member.
C. They're going to provide some engineering service for us. Did the administration vet this vendor? I mean, in like a Google search, it was some questionable things came up. And I know that we've had problems in the past with engineering where we can't get them, actually to do the engineering we need in a timely manner. But I'd like to know that, they feel assured that they're a qualified vendor, they're a good vendor.
We put these out through an RFP and approved by the council early this year. So typically, between the council and our legal team, they review the engineering folks that we put before you and vet them, and purchasing as well. So we feel comfortable with Remington and Vernon doing
Okay,
this.
so our legal team actually vetted this
Yes.
company.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from council members?
Council President?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have the same concerns about C, that this place has been embroiled in some controversies. I'm actually going to pull this for a separate vote. I'm not comfortable. I didn't review this in the beginning of the year, so that's where I stand with it.
Okay. Moving to 10, any other question or comments for A, B, and C? Hearing none from council members, moving to 10 from the Department of Recreation.
Recreation, we're removing A.
We're removing A from the agenda. Resolution, Callow, New Jersey, to have a park rental fee waived. This was R290-06-2026. Just any questions or comments on that removal? Hearing none, B, C, D, and E from the Department of Recreation. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, 11 from the Chief of the Fire Department, A and B. Any questions or comments from council members? Hearing none from the Chief of Police, number 12, letter A, B, and C. Any questions or comments from council members?
Council President?
Yes, sir.
I did ask Sonia about this. I wasn't able to read the backup on this. But the $72,000 that we're going to give back to the prosecutor's office, right? This was for a forfeiture. So our police officers arrested someone that had money, and then I guess we have to give it back. Is that what this is?
Correct. So the case went through a process of appeal and settlement, and so it was settled. So now we have to return whatever was in the asset forfeiture. In this case, there was the actual 2 resolutions here that have funds that would need to be returned to the prosecutor's office.
And we typically do receive funds from forfeitures.
We do. In this case, it was just a holdover, but the county resolved the matter rather than on our end.
All right, thank you. And Council President C, I understand that, I guess we're getting this for free, but we're going to have to pay for maintenance and we have to pay to ship it, right? Is there a need, now I know that the money for the maintenance and that probably isn't that much, but is there really a need? I mean, we own a tank, right? We have another kind of armored vehicle here. Do we really need these type things?
It is for free. It's no charge to the township. As you know, with the more volatile storms we've had, at times we question whether we should have, for example, a boat, but tactical equipment like this do come to some sort of use. And so it's, again, no charge to the township. So it was available. The police department, our chief felt that it would be a piece of equipment that could be used in the event that we had a major occurrence throughout the township.
Listen, I'd make that joke about that, free, because I own a boat, right? Even if you get the boat for free, it's not really free. It costs you money. But what's that other armored vehicle we have? It's got some tires on it. They're about 5 foot tall. I don't know, it's got like 8 tires or something.
High water rescue vehicle. It's not armored. This one is armored. This one is sort of go into a mine and collapse, hopefully.
Yes, we need it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Have we had any mine incidents in Edison? Landmine incidents?
I mean, you could go into a building with this thing. If you've seen pictures from it, it's a active shooter, for example. Just various incidents that it could be used.
Any other council comments?
Council President, I have a question. Sonia, again, just a quick question on that. Whatever the armored vehicles we have, how many times we use in that last 25 years? The current vehicles?
This is the first vehicle we've gotten.
No, we already have one.
No,
Not the
it's
similar.
not the same. It is not the same.
Understood, it's not the same, but the one that we have, how many times we use in last 25 years?
I can certainly get that number for you.
Okay. Do you know what is the cost of the storage and the maintenance for this vehicle?
We have the storage capacity here.
Okay, what is the cost to maintain it? Do we know?
I can find that out for you.
Yeah, because we have the resolution, we are approving it, and we don't know the cost. That's something I can digest because we already have the tight funds. Our taxes are skyrocketing. I would be very careful spending even a dime now. So my first question is if you can find out that information. And my last question is, do we have a qualified person to operate this vehicle?
There's training that goes through with these vehicles. So we have police personnel that, for example, the tactical team, they're pretty qualified when it comes to hostage situations, that this may be an item that would be used. So again, I know you're putting a figure to this, but there is no figure. This is free to the township.
Understood. It's a good to have. And again, I'm not denying that we don't need. If we have a bandwidth, yes, why not? But at this point in time, as we know that, we need to be careful where we spend our money. And if it means that none of our officer has operated this type of vehicle, we will end up spending money for training. We'll end up spending money for maintenance.
Sure, if the captain, council president could.
Yeah, Councilman, would
speak.
you mind if we let the captain?
Absolutely, why
speak up?
not?
Yeah.
But I need the evidences, by the way.
no,
I don't want just a word saying, hey, we know it.
Well,
And then we see that
We won't,
in
you're
2
not
months-
finished. You're going to yield your time and come back.
I know, but 2 months, you come back and say, hey, we need X dollars to train the officer. Yes, sir.
So we have a SWAT team, dedicated officers to a SWAT team. Those officers go through training all the time. If we were to acquire this vehicle, which is extremely important to their safety and the safety of the civilians, that they could use this for hostage rescue, they could use this for active shooter drills, search warrants. I mean, it's countless. The amount of operations that officers utilize these type of vehicles for, it's a military vehicle. MRAP, we're getting it for free, right? These officers are going to be going to the highest risk operations in this vehicle. So if there is an active shooter, we go to those, and now the SWAT team could get transported to those types of jobs in this vehicle where they're going to be protected. They can also retrieve people from these types of jobs and get them to safety because of this vehicle. So it's extremely important.
Understood. So I have 2 questions to you. So in how long, officer, you are working in this town? 20 years?
Myself,
Yep.
24 years.
You didn't feel a need of this vehicle in
Yes.
24 years?
I was on the SWAT team for 18 years, and we needed one every day of those 18 years. And we actually have an opportunity now to acquire one for free, and it's 100% the right move.
My second question to you is, I consider Edison is the safest town to live in state of New Jersey. How many incidents in the last 20 years of your officer history?
Could we have used this? Every search warrant I've ever been on.
No, but we lived without this vehicle,
But
right?
this takes a lot of the risk to officers going to the scene away. Normally, we're showing up in Sprinter vans, and they don't have any safety regulations or anything for officers if we're getting shot at or if we're trying to rescue people during a hostage situation or an active shooter situation. This vehicle is actually built and designed to transport us to those jobs.
Understood. Again, I'm not denying the importance, but the question here is, first, we don't have officer trained. We don't know the maintenance cost. We have never used this vehicle. I consider Edison as the safest town to live. I want to know, the last question to you is, how many times this type of incident happened in the last 20 years?
In the last 20 years? Well, I mean, it's a hard
Yeah,
question
Council
to answer
President,
because
I mean,
every
point of order, just
operation
point
we've
of
ever
order.
been on, we could use this vehicle.
Councilman, just point of order. at this moment, we have a free opportunity. I think your questions are valid. I just don't want to push my captain into a corner where he's releasing our strategy of what we do every day in the time to time allocations of our police department and our force on the ground.
Council President, there is no strategy
You
here.
know, listen, I think we should go offline. I mean, it's courtesy to the council if you can. Either I'm going to vote for it. If when we come to voting, you can do more comments, vote it up or vote it down. I see your point. I really do. But when an officer gets to a location for a search warrant, I know we're the safest town, and do we really need this? But is there a time where we'd wish that we needed it and we didn't? And is this the time? I'm not going to put my men and women in the situation.
Council President, just my request to you is because we don't have the enough information, I would say that, wait for 2 more weeks, because you took 2 more weeks for the bamboo, which I'm going to talk later part of this discussion. Why can't we wait for 2 more weeks to get the facts around what is going to cost us?
We're talking apple and oranges, Councilman.
we're not
We
talking
are,
apple to oranges. I'm
because,
asking about the
We are
the
talking
cost.
about, not the bamboo, right? We're
No, no,
talking
no.
about the.
Correct.
The vehicle, correct?
Cost,
So I just want to be clear, though, we have active and veteran military folks on our police department who are trained. So the comment about not having people trained is incorrect. I surely don't want to give out more information than necessary.
I don't
but-
need.
Okay.
But if
but
you're saying that,
again,
we
it
have.
is a free vehicle. We do have mechanics. We have 3 mechanics who are very willing and capable of working on all of our vehicles, our police vehicles. We have dedicated team to that. So if you want that information about what we maintain, what we're capable of maintaining,
I don't need
surely
that.
provide that for
I don't
you.
need that. I need to know the cost to maintain or cost to own and operate. That's what I'm asking for.
For free.
You are getting it free. We don't know what the cost to operate. Because this might be 100 years old. We don't know.
It surely couldn't be 100 years old of. Any 1033 program that you've approved in the past, and I can pull up those resolutions for you, and it's had equipment, it's had vehicles, it's had everything. And usually, from my experience, they're no more than a 5-year life cycle. The military, they give these things out like it's
Understood.
handy.
And that is where I'm saying if it is a 5 years life left and you have to shell 200 grand to maintain, does it make sense for this council even to approve? And that's what I was saying. If we know those numbers, again, I'm not saying nickels and dime, but roughly maintenance budget, maybe 100 grand, 50 grand, 10,000.
It's within our budget.
No.
It's within our budget.
If everything would have been our budget, as you said last year and this year so far, why the taxes are going up? So nothing is within a budget, by the way, right? Again, we can debate on that. So Council President, my ask is not to approve this tonight, wait for the factual information so we know what is going to cost us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Just to the BA, if this vehicle does need improvements, will that be part of our capital plan, or would that be part of, what would be part of, if we were to improve this vehicle, if it ever needed improvement?
Maintenance is usually coming out of the operating account, not capital.
Okay, but it's not something that would last 5 years? Okay, thank you. All right, moving through the agenda, did anybody else want to comment on the Chief of Fire, A, B, and C? Chief of Police, I'm sorry. Hearing none, moving to the Township Clerk. Okay, 13, A, B, C, D, and E. Any questions or comments on Township Clerk? Hearing none, we're going to move to the regular meeting and start this now. And first, at 14, we're going to have the approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for the May 20th meeting?
Motion to approve?
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Say aye. Thank you. Unfinished business ordinance for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. We're removing this 02280. Do we need a motion for that or no? Do we need to vote on that to remove it? Council?
You want to vote to remove it? I thought you removed it during the,
We're moving 2280, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Right, to the next
in the
meeting.
work session.
Yeah.
So now
Okay.
the public hearing is going to be now the 24th.
Okay, do you need to vote on the public hearing? Is that, there's no vote, we're just moving the date? There's no vote?
No, because you did it at work session, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
said it work- We're moving it to.
Fair enough.
Put it back on for June 24th.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
that's why I got confused, I apologize.
Yeah,
We did this already.
Okay,
all right, good.
so now this.
Any questions or comments from council members on moving it to the 24th? All right, next, we're going to go to the clerk read ordinance.
An ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
We'll open this to the public. Any questions from the public who'd like to stand up and comment?
Joy Ship, Edison, New Jersey. Are we approving this before we even entertain our budget, before we know how much the budget is?
Let me just go to the BA. Do you have any other questions? Ms. Ship?
Well, you told me we're only on the ordinance. So I'm just asking
Okay.
the ordinance. You just said
Okay.
the ordinance. That was it.
I'll just make sure.
You didn't say
To
nothing
the
about the
BA,
resolutions
any question?
yet.
Can you
So I
answer
just
the
wanted
question,
to
please?
know, an ordinance not to exceed the municipal budget appropriating limits to establish a cap bank. So how we know it's not to exceed the budget? We don't even know what the budget is.
Joyce, what's your question? I'm sorry, I just misunderstood you.
I asked, could y'all approve that without even seeing what the budget is?
To the BA, can you please answer this?
Sure. The reason we do this every year is in the event that it does exceed the cap, we're able to do that. And so that's what the ordinance allows us to do, even though the budget was not adopted.
Thank you, only because you're able to do it. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem. Thank you, Ms. Ship. Okay, moving,
Council President, can I ask a question on this?
I mean, I have to finish the public.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody other questions or comments from the public? Yes, Mr. Tar? I'm sorry, Councilman.
Yeah.
Don Tar, 52 Reeder Road.
Welcome.
I have a question regarding the vehicle 299. Am I correct in assuming that it's being provided to us free of charge?
Sorry, this is the public portion on the ordinances. We're only discussing ordinance 2281-2026 right now,
Okay,
sir.
Sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Tar. Any questions or comments on 2281? Yes?
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle.
Welcome.
I just want to confirm, this is a just in case. We need the money if it exceeds the budget that we don't know about yet.
Hold on.
And to establish a cap bank, could you explain that?
The BA, would you one more time, would you explain this? We do this every year, but, and it's been done more than a few times, but please.
This is a resolution that is done every year to authorize the township to exceed it. That doesn't mean that we do. We do have a bank for it. So if we need to extend any on this current budget, we could use that bank first. This is just in case in the future is needed.
Oh, I realize that it's a just in case, but it says establish a cap bank. So
Yes,
you,
it's a
is
cap.
there a cap that you
Yeah,
can't go
it's
further?
every year we put up to 3.50%. Then when we do the budget, we said, okay, we are going to use only this 0 point or whatever increase in the budget, which we have not been using in the latest years. So when we are going to need it, we have it there. It's a bank.
Yeah, I was just looking for the percentage. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Council member?
Council President, just clarification to the BA. It's my understanding that we're voting on this because this is what we need to continue to do business until a budget is passed. Does that make sense?
No, this isn't, this is just to create sort of a safeguard for us to be able to have room in the event we need to increase the budget a certain percentage, but up to the 3.5.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me get a motion. We'll have other council comments. Motion to adopt?
Council President, I move to adopt this ordinance 02281-2026.
Okay. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any council comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Dima.
Yes.
Councilmember Kentos.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Madam Clerk, did we skip this, the right of way? Okay. This is the one we added, right? No, that's, where's the one we added? Okay, good enough. Okay, clerk, read ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the township to lease the premises located at 922 Amboy Avenue for municipal and government purposes and authorizing the execution of a lease agreement associated therewith.
I'd like to open up for any public comment. Like to open up for public comment?
This is the vacant lot across Joyce Ship, Edison, New Jersey. This is the vacant lot across the street from the coffee shop.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
That used to be leased for like $1 a year. This other guy used to lease it for that. So we're trying to figure out how much is the lease going to be now.
It's in the packet behind you, but I also have it right in front of you. It's $2,500 a month.
$2,500 a month?
Yes.
Oh, y'all should get the guy that got it for $1 a year. Ooh, thank you.
Yeah. Let me know who's renting property for $1 a year. You're right, and if he did it for, just to answer your question, Ms. Shipp, it was very kind that he did it for a bunch of volunteers for 5 years. That was very generous. I imagine you should ask that we continue to give him for $1. And you're right. I would hope people would do more of that, generously give their property up for $1. That's very nice. But in this, it's out of my control. So thank you. But I do understand your point. Any other questions or comments? Sure, Ms. Conway.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. Hearing that it's $2,500 a month, how many times do you estimate it to be used within a year?
I don't have that answer today.
Anybody?
It's going to be, I imagine it's going to be thrown into recreation and part of the mayor, the administration, so.
So monthly, I'm just saying if you multiply 2,500 times 12, it's a little high if you're going to use it 3 times a year. But if you're going to be using it on a regular basis, then it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But before you vote on something like that, I'd like to know how many times you're using it to see if it's worth my dollars to go into that lease agreement. I know $2,500 this day is maybe not high, but if you're using it every month, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're using it, I'm thinking it's the place across from the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So if you're using it maybe 3 times a year, then you're multiplying 20, you're talking $10,000 to lease it for those 3 times a year versus $2,500 a month. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Council President?
Thank you.
I
Yes.
just wanted to add, we do currently use it. What we plan on doing it is putting into rotation. That specific neighborhood doesn't have a public space, much like other communities throughout the township. And so we do plan putting it on rotation for planned community events. So that will be forthcoming. We'll have that on the calendar, and we're working with Recreation to do so.
And just another opportunity, which wasn't part of it, the fact of leasing space at 200 feet wide by 100 in a downtown where stores are slowly closing, and it certainly gives an economic opportunity, which Joyce Ship knows about. For 10 years, there will be no development there. So I think that's also a good opportunity. And let's just, you look at the fact that I think it's about $15,000 a year just for the guy's taxes. So minus the taxes, he's getting probably about $1,250 a month. Added into his taxes at the end of the year, he probably has to pay 50% on that. He's getting about $600 net. So I hope it comes through and it's a home run. But we'll see. But great questions. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Stoschel, how you doing?
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road, and I agree with the statements that that neighborhood needs an event space, a space where the people in the neighborhood could walk to something and have their kids and their families out and get to meet their neighbors. We don't think like that too much around here, and we need that in that neighborhood because we have things here at Papiani Park, we have things up in Elder Park. There's really no space that big in Clara Barton, and I think this will help bring the neighborhood together with various events. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Council President, I move the motion to adopt this ordinance 02282-2026.
Can I have a second? Second, Kelly. Any council comments?
Council President?
Yes.
Just a quick question. Again, I think, it's a good use of the dollar amount we are investing. My only the question here is, I understand that we have only, I would say, 2 or 3 township events hosted at this place throughout the year. This could be a good facility for the Clara Barton neighborhood. My question here is this open for the public, especially non-profit organization or any small groups who would like to host any event? Because this is not just the funds coming out from one section of the town, but this is the money coming from the entire town. So anybody, if they would like to use, is this facility open? That's the question.
I would
Like
think,
a park.
I would think like any public space, we'd have an application process that would fit the neighborhood. We certainly probably not going to rent it out for a 500 person wedding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but things that fit the criteria, which I'm sure the administration put together, I think would make a lot of sense. Those who get it for $1,000 or for a fee waiver, it's a great question.
Absolutely.
Did you want to add to that?
And what that space would allow.
Absolutely. That will be wonderful. Again, it's for the broader audience. If you can come up with some sort of a plan, what this space can be used for will be helpful. Thank you.
I mean, in lieu of that, we discussed many times with the mayor, the more events that are run by organizations that do not lean on tax dollars is good for Edison. And we have, and so also for risk management. When we run an event, we're at risk, and so are U.S. taxpayers. So if people want to rent space, that works out great, providing something that the neighborhood needs. Okay, so we had council comments. We have Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Dima.
Yes.
Councilmember Kentos.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Okay, this proposed ordinance public hearing set down for Wednesday. Clerk, read ordinance.
An ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Edison accepting an easement of a portion of Block 124, Lot 20.04 along Route 27 in the vicinity of 2193-2195 Lincoln Highway, Route 27, for maintenance purposes.
Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce, or do I have to read the
I'm sorry, yeah.
fancy stuff? Okay, let's see. I move this ordinance be passed on the first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for June 24th.
Yep. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any council comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Dima.
Yes.
Councilmember Kentos.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Okay, this is the public comment for those here for your first time. This public comment is not comment on anything, it's just only comment on the resolutions. So the list that is provided right below this, below 17 on your agenda, is a list of numbers from 281 all the way to in the 300s here. If you have a question on anything here, you can comment now. After this, there'll be a public portion, you can comment on anything you'd like, from streetlights to garbage cans to nuisances in your community, whatever you choose. So at this time, we're going to open the public comment on the resolutions only. Ms. Attar?
Don Tar, 52 Reeder Road.
Welcome.
Thank you. Question either to the chair or to the business administrator. Am I correct in assuming regarding this ambush vehicle that it's being provided free of charge to the community?
Your question, I'm sorry, Ms. Attar.
Am I correct in assuming that the vehicle we're discussing, 299, ambush vehicle, is provided by a federal program that is being given to us without cost?
Yes, it's absolutely free.
So therefore, the only cost we would incur would be routine maintenance and upkeep.
Yes.
Okay, a question I'd like to direct to representative from the police department through the chair.
Captain?
Is it the captain's impression that this vehicle is a multi-use vehicle that will make the lives safer for our SWAT team members going into whatever they may be forced to attend?
100%, yes, sir.
As father of a retired Edison police officer, let me say, I don't think there's any question about what we should be doing here. If we're only providing for upkeep and maintenance, it's a no-brainer to acquire the vehicle. I can remember a few years back when the federal government offered M16 rifles to the police department, and they were turned away. And I always thought, considering the firepower of some of the people we have to deal with, that was a mistake. Please don't make that mistake again. Let's provide all the tools our police department needs. I think the cost will be minimal in comparison to what we're getting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tar. Any other comments from the public on resolutions only? Please, come up.
Brinder Damija, Surgis Road.
Sure, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Same thing about 299 resolution about the ambush vehicle. This vehicle, what I understand from discussions and what I know from common knowledge and English, I know this is for mines. I don't think there's any provision with the township to put mines in the area. I hope not. I hope the town is not putting mines in the Edison Township, that you need an anti-mine vehicle. I don't want to be sarcastic. I don't think that should ever happen in this country, especially this township. Ambush vehicle, IEDs, all that stuff. This is a combat vehicle which has been used in Iraq, Middle East. We don't need such things in this town. And I will request even the police, he says, the active police, active army members, they need this because they are going into a foreign country to protect themselves. They need heavy metal under their feet. Not here. What do you need? Even common vehicles are very good. You have a shield, you can stop a shooter with that. And any questions? I'll volunteer for that.
Yeah.
If there's a shooter in any school, I'll give my number to the police. Call me, I'll be there myself to protect the school. And go into the school building myself first. And that is job of police officers. They are being paid for this. And I'm very happy to know that our township is very safe. And thanks to the police. And I see there are a lot of vehicles going around. And I'm grateful to the township and the police department for giving us security. But when there is time, it's the duty of the residents to come forward. At my age, I don't care so much. Police officers, they may be younger, having families, children to look after. My kids are grown up. They can take care of themselves. I will go in the school, only schools. Don't call me for a mall shooting. But for school shooting, any of the 19 schools, I am there, first person to enter, if you want me to. Plus, please don't buy such things in this township. What impression you will be creating on the young children? If it is for giving a right to my grandchildren, I'll say yes. But if you say it's for the protection of police, For active shooter, I've never heard of this. 15 years, I never heard of any active shooter in Edison. So please stay away. When you say free, coming from central government, federal government, they have tons of money. They have trillions of money. They can throw money by, helicopters and still haven't have money to waste. So please don't waste money of the township. The cost of living is going up here. It may mean a couple of pennies for me, a couple of dollars for me, but they all add up. So again, my request for police, they are trained, they can shield. I have not seen active thing. I've seen a lot of serials, a lot of movies. And that motivates me, that I can go in with these folks if they need me. And so, I've heard the police officer respond and say, it will save lives. But how many times we have gone through this? And there are a lot of points, in this is only one of them. And it adds to that, whatever budget amount you have, 800 million or something.
Point of order. Marlene, would you stop the clock? I just want to respond to you and give you a chance to respond back, only because it's fair. First, I really appreciate you coming up and caring for our tax dollars. But I disagree respectfully, but I think your point is valid. I'm not the one that arrives at a scene, lights and sirens, my heart racing, to an unidentified scene. That's not my role, but it's the role of our officers to arrive someplace at a time unknown to what could be happening. So if this vehicle puts them in a better place and there's no surprise, and if there was an active shooter, I feel comfortable having that. If you believe they should go up with a shield, as it was 1950 in the middle of New York at a raid, I understand your point. I just disagree with it. So if I have the chance and this council agrees, I'm going to vote in favor of this to put our men and women in a good place. And you can't speak from flying down the highway at 75 miles an hour, lights and sirens and chaos, and your heart racing at 100 miles an hour. And there is, a situation you're in where you can't see well, you're not sure, and you're going to knock on a dark door. I just don't know when you've had that experience in life. And I'm not saying you don't have a lot of experiences, but it's certainly something I don't want to experience ever. And if it makes them comfortable and it's free, we're maintaining hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. One more, I hope you can understand it. But I do really respect what you have to say. You have 30 seconds. We start the clock.
So again, I would say, it's the duty of residents also to protect the children, at least. I won't say everybody. That's not my job. But any shooter gets into a school, I'll give my phone number. I don't know if there are volunteers. You have volunteers for fire department. I don't know if the police department has volunteers. I'll volunteer for that incident, that moment. I will go in with the first squad. I'll go in the first member of the first squad. That's all. Thank you.
I appreciate your ambition. Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments on the resolutions only? Sure. Ms. Conway?
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I just have a question, because I'm always thinking dollars and cents and how much is it going to cost. And I realize that they're saying we're getting the vehicle for free and we'll only have to do like regular maintenance. But has someone already looked at the vehicle and evaluated to see if there's any upfront costs? Because sometimes if they give something away for free, it kind of scares me that how much do we have to put into it initially before doing maintenance? Because it's scary to see something like that to begin with. But if the captain says it's going to come in handy one day and save lives, I'm all for it. Yeah. But if we're getting a lemon, we're not going to make lemonade with it. So has someone actually evaluated it and said, all we have to do is regular maintenance, it's in great shape? Because sometimes when they give something away for free, it's never for free. So
thank you, Ms. Conway. I'm confident we're doing the right thing. I respect your question. You're taking a gamble on any 5-year vehicle of just basic maintenance.
Oh, it's 5 years old?
It's 5 years old, correct?
I could get you the exact date, but it is in good condition.
It is in good
Otherwise, we
condition.
wouldn't have
Somebody
taken
has
it.
evaluated it. Okay.
So, but a great question. Okay, Mr. Stoschel in the back. This is resolutions only. I just want to go over just so, there's going to be public comment after just,
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road on
welcome.
289, the Safe Street and Roads Action Plan for $303,000. It wasn't clear from what I read what that's all about, but it may be something we need to build on our complete streets ordinance that we passed a few years ago. And our master plan had a lot of things in it for street safety, like a speed limit study. So if it's something like that, that's something we really need to do, because a lot of our streets have old speed limits that were done in the 40s, and they haven't been changed. On 301 to 342, the 41 liquor license renewals for 2026 to 2027, I have a couple of questions on the liquor licenses. Is there a yearly fee for this, and how much is it?
Madam Clerk?
Yes. The club's yearly fee is $150, and the other licenses are $2,500.
Okay. And these are all my second question is, these are all for active businesses and locations?
There are a few pockets, I believe, that are on here, too.
I wasn't sure about the pockets, so those aren't active physical locations.
Correct.
Somebody just owns them and then maybe do something in the future.
Yes.
Okay. And what do we charge for the retail consumption license? What do we charge that goes out for bid or something like that, or auction?
These are all renewals. We don't have any, we're at capacity for bids now on that.
So we won't issue any new ones?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. And resolutions only, in the back, it's resolutions only, not public comment. It's all.
Taha Sheikh, Hillcrest Avenue.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just want to first commend the police force and the captain and every police officer who day in and day out for 365 days, spend roaming the streets and obviously protecting our town. But I just have a few concerns about the MRAP, just speaking more, I guess, logically from a different perspective. From my research, and I guess this is very nuanced, I've only been doing this for the past 6 days since I saw the article. Why are we getting an MRAP and not a Bearcat, for example? And I have a few questions to ask. Number one, most SWAT agencies within New Jersey specifically, I don't think it's fair to go into other red states or even other Western states where they have more of the MRAPs. But why are we not getting a Bearcat, which is an AMV, I think? Why are we specifically getting an MRAP, as one of the other residents said, which is mine resistant? This was used specifically in Iraq and Afghanistan and these certain areas which were high violent crimes and high explosive material. It was used to withstand that. Instead of something that is very militarized, why are we not getting something that is normalized to SWAT agencies, which is the Bearcat or AMV? And number two, a question I have is, if you look at Edison as a safety ranking, I think we're in the top 90th percentile for safest cities in New Jersey. Historically or statistically speaking, New Jersey as a state, we only have 13 towns that have the MRAP. And so the question that I come as a resident, number one, is if we're in the 90th percentile where we're one of the safest, why does 90% of the state not have MRAPs, right? And it begs the question that, do we really, and I'm not going to discredit the SWAT, I'm just wondering how many hostage crime scenarios do we have? How many school shootings? And I hope we don't, but how many school shootings do we have? It just makes me wonder. And then number two, just to understand from this, how many incidents, and maybe this is not public info, we can't understand this. To my knowledge, an MRAP would only be accessible or helpful if there was returning fire or danger on the arrival. It's not something you can just drive through a house, number one. And then the last part, the last two things I have necessarily about this, or three things, is if you look at California historically, and you see this in the past, I think 15 years, in 2005, I think this was post-2000s when 1099 came out. I forgot the federal government. But California cities took these MRAPs, they took these APVs, they took these vehicles, and to this day, they struggle with returning them back to the federal government because there's bureaucracy. So my point is, how long do we know of the lifespan of this vehicle? To my knowledge, I don't think it's 5 years old. I believe these are vehicles from the Afghan war that we just pulled out of. So these are 10 years old, 15 years old. Like, do we know about the integrity, the maintenance, the insurance costs, all that other stuff? And then the last thing I want to mention is or the last two things I want to mention is the over-militarization of police. I don't know how many of us are kept in touch, but I saw these vehicles at Delaney Hall a week ago when I visited. These vehicles are meant not only, of course, to protect police officers and help them defend them at the stage of the crime scene or the stage of the scene, but these are a form of militarization, of showing the police as the dictator, or not necessarily the dictator, but necessary as a power front of the township. I don't think we're a town that stands for over-militarization. So my suggestion to the council, not necessarily is to, shut this down, to say no to this. I strongly believe the council, as Councilman Ajay Patel, and I want to commend him for doing this, is that we should push this to 2 weeks or to the next month, and to not have this on the consent agenda where it's voted together. I think it should be a separate vote that the council makes after getting feedback from the community. And last thing I want to mention, I have 3 seconds, is the ACLU and multiple other civic agencies actually warn about having townships using these. So that's what I have. I don't know if there's any response from the representative, but.
Your time is up. Thank you. But we will answer a few of your questions.
Can I stay up here or should I?
You're welcome to stay. It's just, unfortunately, there's not a back and forth. But to the captain, why did we pick this one? Was this the only one offered?
It's whatever is available. It's not, we don't necessarily go and shop for what we want necessarily, but it is items that are available to any police department. But I'll let the captain answer the rest.
First off, thank you for your comments. It's much appreciated on behalf of all the men and women I work with. I really do appreciate it. In terms of the usage of the MRAP, it's not going to be utilized on a day-to-day patrolling schedule. You won't ever probably see it patrolling the streets of Edison. The only time this will be used is for highly specialized operations composed by our SWAT team, which, without giving any of their secrets away, they operate mostly at night, early morning hours. This is to safely transport members of our SWAT team who handle the most dangerous operations on a daily basis. This isn't for routine patrol. We're not going to be stopping cars, making traffic stops in this vehicle. This vehicle is for officer safety transport to high-risk operations. Now, with that being said, our town is one of the safest in the country because we have SWAT teams, specially trained officers, the chief of police and the mayor who support us and supply us with the equipment needed and the manpower needed to keep Edison as one of the safest towns in the country. This vehicle isn't going to be paraded around the town in a military fashion. This vehicle is going to be utilized specifically for the most dangerous, high-risk operations that our SWAT team puts themselves at risk for every day. Some of them are search warrants, some of them are barricaded suspects, some of them are hostage situations, which I can proudly say that we've operated without this vehicle in that higher state of risk. So with this vehicle, the officers that are on the SWAT team, which is Special Weapons and Tactics, they will be properly trained. They're highly trained now, and I have nothing but the utmost confidence in them and their abilities while utilizing this. But this will not be used as a day-to-day patrol car. This will be parked and used for specialized operations, high-risk operations where our officers and civilians are in danger. So I know you asked a few questions. I apologize if there's anything else, Council President, that I missed.
I think you hit on point. Thank you. And I just wanted to mention, first, we thank you for coming. Thank you for saying what you said about our men and women on the police department. But as we prepare to make sure people know not to come to Edison to create a crime, I think it's great that we have plate readers today like we didn't before. So if you come to Edison, we know you're here immediately by the fact you have a car that's unregistered or you don't have a license coming through here. The fact that, we're prepared in a township that is surrounded by other townships and at the crossroads of so many major highways. And I would say it's easy for us to say Edison's a safe place, and it is. But if you ever were on a highway, knowing what's going through your town, is the question no one will ever know. And I'm sure the captain can speak on that when you're on a major highway pulling someone over. So that's the difference. I mean, we're keeping crime out, and I think this is a great opportunity when we do have something in Edison, and it's free. But I think what you said about it being paraded or any used in a situation that you mentioned, I don't see that happening here, and I'm glad the captain answered those questions. Moving forward on, do we have any questions or comments on resolutions only? Ms. Joyce Shipp?
Joyce Shipp Freeman. I agree with the young man, and I did a lot of research also. Edison already has a bunch of lawsuits against him for over-militarization of harassing people that come through this town. There's a bunch of lawsuits already. And I know for a fact that I remember when they had a hostage situation off of New Dover, when the girl, I think, and her brother and her family, they were shot. And, Edison Police does well, like they always do in that given situation. But a helicopter was needed, not an armored truck. Now, in Edison, we only have 2 lanes going anywhere. So to put that truck out there and to tear up the streets and all that, maybe that's good with y'all, because, we rain money in Edison. That's what we do. That's the first thing we do. Now, the other thing, when we're doing the consent agenda and we're resolution approving disbursements and all that, someone told me to ask you, of all the 6-figure people who have cars, is the tolls,
So just a point of order.
yeah.
Ms. Shipp?
Yes.
Just right now, it's resolutions only, so you're
Yes,
speaking.
I'm asking you about this resolution. They want to know if the tolls, the taxes,
And what resolution?
and the gas is included in this resolution.
Can
That's part
you
of the
tell me what
reimbursement.
resolution, please?
Approving disbursements. Is that being approved? They want to know if that's being approved. The tolls, the gas, and the money spent, and the people who have 6 figures who happen to manage to get cars all the time, all right?
Your next
Now,
question?
I wanted to ask also, well, they want to know that at all, because that's part of your disbursements.
I'm writing it down for you.
Isn't the taxes and the tolls
Absolutely.
and all that spent, is that not part of the disbursement?
I wrote it down. I'll answer it when you're finished, no
Okay,
problem.
all right. I wanted to know, and I wanted to speak about the resolution of the housing that mayor to execute. Well, those funds are needed for a startup fund, but we will be getting those funds back as time goes on. So it's not like we're giving the housing authority anything. And on this other resolution, I wanted to ask, because this says Delmar, California, resolution 330-06-2026. I want to know why it says California. It could be like this is a franchise or something, but I just wanted to know why it's in California. We got more.
I'm sorry, Ms. Shipp, just a point of order. What number are you relating to, the clerk's asking?
The 330-06-2026. Okay, I want to know the direction and the path of the trolley and which direction it would be going in. About the fire department equipment and divisions, what kind of extra equipment are they going to be using? Because down the street from my house, they have a data center that has all types of lithium batteries. I'm more concerned about you guys being protected against those lithium batteries than I am an armored truck. Because when lithium batteries burn, sir, that's a big deal. So explain that one to me. And let's see, because you got to run through this real quick. They only give you a few minutes to talk. Okay, that's good. All right, so far, so good. If you can answer me that, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shipp. Just for this, to the BA, for the spending question she asked, do you have an answer?
Council President, I don't know what the question, specific line item in the disbursements is.
For the disbursements, is it including tolls and fuel?
You'd have to tell me exactly what line item that is. But typically, under the current fund, we would charge those kinds of expenses, fuel, anything like that.
Okay, and she also had a question on well, there wasn't a question on housing. She commented on housing. Okay, thank you. To the chief, did you want to, I'm sorry, point of order, Ms. Ship. Ms. Ship, you're not going to go back and forth. Your time is up, please. Only because if you start, but you're talking to somebody, and don't tell me you're talking to yourself, because I know that's not possible. Okay, thank you, Ms. Ship, I appreciate it. Chief, would you please come up and just answer the question for the data centers and how we'd approach fires today?
For the data centers, you want to prevent thermal runaway with the lithium ion. So I believe the plans reviewed, I think they added 2 more hydrants in there. And I think it's still, I don't know where it is in the, did it get approved yet or not, but I saw the preliminary plans. I didn't see the final one. But we met with the company and they met the code of the suppression to prevent the thermal runaways. I don't know if that answers the question. You need copious amounts of water.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, moving on, any questions or comments on resolutions only? Had somebody? Looks like we're completed. Can I have a motion to close the public portion on resolutions only?
Motion to close.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, can I have that? As a courtesy to Mr. Kentos, we're going to table 9C, Resolution 289-062-2026. Can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Can I have a second?
Second.
We need to do roll call or just all in favor on that?
No, you have to do a roll call for table.
Yeah, table. Okay, 289-062-2026.
Councilmember Brescher?
A yes to table.
Councilmember Dima?
Yes.
Councilmember Kentos? Oh, he requested, he's not here.
And then just rewind real quick before we finish. This is to go on to the next meeting. We're just tabling to the next agenda. Okay?
Okay.
So can we restart the roll call? I'm making a motion and.
Which will be June
to move this to
24th.
the June 24th meeting. Can I have a second to move, to table this to that meeting?
Second.
Second by Councilman Patil. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher?
Yes.
Councilmember Dima?
Yes.
Councilmember Kentos is left. Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes to table.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Coyle?
Yes. Going to the agenda, any council members, this is a time where they can pull any resolution off the agenda they'd like for a separate vote or to table. So I'll start from my right, Councilmember Brescher, anything to be pulled for a separate vote?
Actually, it was the one that you tabled already.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Dima.
No.
Councilmember Patel? Anything?
Let Councilman Patil go first.
299.
Anything, Patil?
299.
299? Councilmember Asaf Shmuel?
No.
Okay, none there. So we're going to pull for a separate vote, 299?
Council President, I would like to table the 299 until we get the information on the life left, the condition of the vehicle, the maintenance cost, and the training cost.
I'm sorry. I'd had to reset. Can you please repeat that?
So the reason I would like to table this ordinance to know the facts, the life left on the vehicle, the condition of the vehicle, maintenance cost, again, we can ballpark the number based on the make, model, and the life left, and the training cost, if any.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I read some bad news on the phone from one of our members of the councils. Mr. Kentos had to leave for an emergency. And I pray for good things so I was a little bit in shock. Any members of the council would like to comment, or you're making a motion to table?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We'll have to do a roll call in second and table this.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes to table till we get the additional information.
Councilmember Dima.
No.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes to table.
I want to comment on this.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes to table, but Councilman
I
Assam.
wanted to comment on this. Sorry that.
Sure.
So coming into today's meeting, I didn't think we were going to talk about a vehicle I didn't think we were going to debate a free vehicle. But I understand Councilman Patil's reservations. I hope that we never use this vehicle. I don't think that we ever will. And I think that because of its slow usage, like the captain said, the maintenance will be minimal. So this vehicle is going to offer, this free vehicle is going to offer our residents additional protection, and it's going to offer police officers additional training. So we'll have even better trained officers based on this vehicle. So, and honestly, if it becomes too expensive, we could always retire it. So I vote to yes on this resolution.
I just, before we, let me just read, could we just,
Say yes or no.
just as a point of order, I'd like to restart the motion through. You can't do that. He didn't even vote yet.
5 votes done.
So just procedurally, the motion to table has been made. The vote has started on it.
Okay.
At this point, your
Council
vote
table.
would be no to table.
No to table.
Okay.
Did you, Councilman Patil, you voting?
Yeah, I said already voted for table. You know,
Okay.
again, I'm asking just 2 weeks of time to evaluate this. I'm
I
not.
understand.
Council President Qual, what's your vote?
A no to table.
We see still
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 and 3, so it
Motion does not pass.
does not pass.
no कर देते ना. We'll do no. 3-3.
So we're going to do.
Table failed.
Motion to table failed. Can we have a motion? We could, first let's adopt the consent agenda. We should adopt it. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Council President, I will still pull that for the separate vote.
You pulled it for a separate vote to let me just clarify.
Table is a different thing. The voting for a separate vote is a very different thing.
I thought you motioned to table. What was, Counselor, what did he do?
Sure. So the councilman motioned to table the resolution. All that would do is remove it from the consent agenda and table the resolution. Because that motion did not pass, it remains on the consent agenda. Now the councilman is asking that it be removed from the consent agenda for a separate vote. All right. Just.
Are you, okay, so are you making another motion now?
I already made that, no, not the motion. I'm asking to pull this for a separate vote. It's a regular
Okay,
process.
no problem. Okay, so we're just going to add it to the 299.
So it's a separate
Just
vote again.
She's going to pull for a separate vote, not a motion to table. The table failed. Okay, great. Anybody, any other council members? Councilman Schmidt, anything, you had nothing to pull?
No.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda, withdrawing 299 for a separate vote?
Motion to adopt.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Dima.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Coyle.
Yes. Okay, I have a motion. I'm just going to clarify. During this particular, I will make sure we have council comments on this. We normally do that, but some situations it's a faster motion and we don't have that. So the council member, you want to do your motion?
Yeah, I think you should call the roll call, and if they want to make the vote. but I
Well,
already
right now,
made-
we have a motion from Councilman Patil.
Yes,
to
I already made the comment saying I'm not comfortable for voting this resolution for the fact that I do not know the life left on the vehicle, the condition of the vehicle, how much it's going to cost to maintain, how many times potentially it could be used based on the historical information and the training cost.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion to adopt 299.
Motion to adopt
Have
299.
a second.
Second.
Have Madam Clerk roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Dima.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
No.
Councilmember Patil.
Abstained with the lack of information.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Quayle.
Yes to pass.
And that one- We got a 1 abstention, 2 noes.
No, you have a resolution that has 5 council members voting on it. 3 voted yes, 2 voted no. If it's a resolution, it still requires a majority of the voting members.
That's correct.
Not a majority of the sitting council. So if this were an ordinance, it would fail.
It fails.
Counselor,
So it passed?
Doesn't.
No.
No.
Sorry. Okay. If you give me a moment to verify, I can verify, okay? Just so that everyone's clear and on the same page. If you want to move on so that we can make a determination, we can do that. Otherwise, you can wait about 2 minutes.
I'm just going to wait.
Extension that screws things up. Not 3-3 though, because he abstained. He didn't vote no. That's the problem, is that when it is an abstention, he's not a member, he's not voting,
So now you're down to
Right.
only,
which means that you have 5 voting members.
and you got 3
That's the
yeses?
problem.
You got 3 yeses, so there would be,
Yeah, so generally.
It fails, man. by-
So it's a 3-2 vote.
so it passed.
You don't need a majority of the, you don't need a majority of the council, the sitting council, to pass a resolution. If we had 5 people here, we could still pass resolutions. Right? And we would pass those resolutions 3-2.
So, Counselor, just a question. So if we had 5 council members and 1 person voted yes and 4 voted no, you're telling us that it passes?
No.
No.
What I'm saying is that if you had 5 council members and 1 voted yes and 4 abstained from voting, there would be arguably a passage of that. However, that is a highly unusual and very strange situation.
Council President, if that's the case, then I will change my vote to yes, to no.
The vote, okay, that's already, I'm not arguing your request, but I think your request is over.
No, you didn't. You had several dialogues back and forth. You were asking
Listen,
attorney sitting here. No, you want to push it, I get it.
Listen, I am pushing it. I think it's a
That's what I'm
great
saying.
idea. I'm not denying that. I think I'm in complete
But you can't take it
surpri-
your way, I'm just
listen,
asking.
Listen, I respect, Councilman, we've worked together for 11 years. I respect everything you've mentioned in here. I disagree respectfully. The roll call, no different than the roll call before. Let's not have a double standard. You voted, you chose to abstain, you could have chose no. The rule of abstaining is not a vote.
Council President, you don't need to explain me the reason of abstain, but what I'm saying, you did
I just
allow councilmen to make the comment when the roll call was going on. That was out of the process, by the way.
Listen.
That was not by the process, so you can't change the process based on your convenience.
We've never got sticky on someone commenting that's a member of the council during a roll call.
Not during the roll call.
We have council comments all the time. Okay, we have comments.
We've had
every,
comments during roll calls.
On the ordinances, not on.
but no,
Yeah,
but
we've had.
listen, I'm not denying anything. I'm not going to debate with you, Councilman. The counselor has said that the motion was approved. So we're moving
That's
forward.
okay, no, you move forward, but I'm just saying that, next time I'll catch you if you invalidate the legislative process.
I don't know why you decided to abstain.
No, because I don't have the information, right? I cannot say no because I don't have the information.
Again, I just thought you would be a hard no because you brought it up. You decided to abstain. I can't control what you did.
Council President.
As a courtesy, I'm not going to redo a roll call.
No, Council President, you're on the council for 10 years. You know the meaning of abstain. When you don't have the information, you cannot vote yes or no. You are making that your choice, saying, hey, I don't have enough information, that's why I'm abstaining. I'm not voting no, because this is important, but I need to know the cost. But anyway, you can move on.
Listen, as a courtesy to my council member, I have no interest in redoing the roll call. But Captain, would you just clarify, is whether we do this today or in 2 weeks, what is your position?
That was really an issue.
Council President, my position on what exactly?
To accept this vehicle today.
Yeah, because we have emergency, let's accept.
Personally, I say yes. I mean, if it's going to keep my officers and the citizens of this town safer, then the
Motion's
faster the
approved,
better.
thank you. Okay, we're going to move forward. Thank you, Council Member Patil, and I respect your argument clear. Moving forward to the oral petition remarks. Reports from all council committees. Okay. Oral petition remarks. Anyone from the public that would like to comment on anything? This young lady in the back right here.
Tessie Yakumovich, Edison resident. Good evening. I wanted to talk a little bit more and ask the town to consider a traffic study for an uncontrolled intersection where Old Post Road and the Boulevard of the Eagles meet. So I'm a lifelong resident and I've lived there. I've lived in near Old Post Road all my life. It carries a lot of traffic in both directions, especially vehicles coming from Route 1. Boulevard of the Eagles brings traffic from Edison High School. And there's no signal at this intersection. And it frequently becomes congested due to the sheer amount of traffic coming in all directions. Also, many of these drivers don't slow down enough while vehicles are trying to turn. Usually it's right turns. And this concerns me, especially given the proximity of the intersection to the high school and the unsafe situations it can create for high schoolers. I know there was an incident in March where a student was hit a crossing where the intersection is. And so I was kind of concerned about that when I heard about it. I'm not sure, if the town council can do anything about it. I just wanted to kind of bring it up. I did some research and looked into some data from the New Jersey Department of Transportation. I found the crash data portal. And I kind of reviewed data on the area within 250 feet of this intersection. The map showed 18 crashes, around 18 crashes near the intersection since 2019. That's including 3 that involved injuries, and it said 1 fatality. Again, this data was kind of calculated 250 feet within the intersection, the area of the intersection, so this could be inaccurate. But in general, for one location, this is pretty concerning to me. Especially because it showed for the incidences where the extra data was shown, it showed that this majority of these accidents occurred in daylight and clear weather. So these aren't special circumstances in which these crashes are occurring. And yeah, so I would, I would like for the town to do some sort of traffic study. I'm not sure if I would have to reach out to any other kind of party in this case, but it would be a good idea.
You still have 1 minute and 24 seconds. Did you have any other questions?
No, just, I mean, if I could get some advice on how to proceed with this.
Well, while you're there, we can, you can stay there, and I'm going to ask the captain, is this something, could you answer the question whether we can do a study sometime in the near future or look at this for a study? Okay.
I could pass that, I'll pass that information off to our traffic unit, Lieutenant Turner, and we'll get you some answers in the future.
Okay, I really appreciate it, yeah. Because I live nearby, and, you know, like, I've had so many near crashes that have occurred when I was just driving. I was almost involved in one where the cars just don't slow down because they're coming from Route 1. You know, they treat it as if it's still Route 1, and...
So members of the council know your location again. What intersection are you looking for this to be done at?
This is Old Post Road, between Old Post Road and Boulevard of the Eagles, so by
Okay,
High
there.
School.
Okay. Are you a student? I'm sorry.
No, no, I wasn't a student.
Passerby, living
Yeah.
in the area, no problem. We'll have it looked at. If you want to leave, before you leave, if you can give your email to our deputy clerk.
Okay.
Or if you want to thread an email to the clerk, that's up to you if you have to leave early. But
No,
if
it's
you
okay.
want to
I can
just
give the
pass her
email
your
after.
information, she may come out if she has a moment, so that you can have some response back from Lieutenant Turner.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank
And I'm
you.
sorry, one more thing. Sonia, did you want to add to this?
I did.
Your time is up. I'm sorry, you can't, I'm not to be rude, but your comments are over, but she's going to make a comment.
Okay, I just wanted to alert everyone that between our engineering team and our traffic division, I've just emailed them and copied you, Council President, to look into that to see exactly what can be done. Even if something was done in the past, we always look into it again. So that's been, they've been put on notice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we step one is happening for you. Sure, Councilman Besher.
Council President, since I've been here and you've been here, and I know Mr. Patil has been here, we've done a traffic study. In fact, we went and did something about putting a crosswalk over there. We were talking about putting a crosswalk with the light where you hit the button. So I know that our department did a traffic study already, that you have one, and it's probably not any different than about a year ago when we did it. Maybe it was 2 years. Time goes by fast for me. Could we maybe get her that traffic study?
Sure, if we have one, we can surely provide it.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember we did it.
What if she wants an updated one?
From a year ago? I don't think we had any more people here in the last year.
We have more electric scooters. But, okay, thank you. Any other members of the council? I'm just going to go, I'm going to come to you, sir. I'm just going to the left here.
Thank you. Good evening, council members.
Welcome.
We are the
You want to state
residents
your
of,
name? Did you want to state your name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Rahul Dhawan. I'm a resident of 419 Durham Avenue, close to the Shell gas station that's there in District 73. We are the residents of District 73 on Durham Avenue, near the Shell gas station, a designated residential area. We are here to strongly oppose the variance request that would allow the convenience store to be built in this residential zone. At the last zoning board meeting, residents were not given a fair opportunity to be heard. What we witnessed was deeply concerning and troubling, a willingness to approve nearly 25 variances that appear to prioritize commercial greed over community needs. While we understand that council does not make zoning board decisions, the council appoints the members who do. When those appointees act against the interests of the residents, accountability cannot be ignored. Today, it's District 73. Tomorrow, it could be any neighborhood in Edison. We ask you to stand with your residents, protect our residential communities, and oppose this convenience store proposal. Thank you.
Please, you can stay there. You have 2 minutes left, and I'll do my best to answer some of your questions. First question is, and I'm not familiar, we don't have anybody.
I can talk.
Is it, this has been approved already, right? This was already up on the?
This is a zoning board application, which was heard last month. And what he's trying to say is the public portion was not there. It's going to be done in the next meeting. The public portion.
Question, is it still an open application or is it
It's still an open application.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Councilman Patil, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, I know this neighborhood exactly, and that's very dangerous spot. In fact, the Shell gas pump, if you look, the road just literally divides, and it's a problem.
Point of order.
Yeah, but just want to update on
I
that.
want to say, before you say whether you're for or against this,
No, I'm not
we could be
saying that.
voting on an appeal, so I just don't want to.
I'm not
I want to
saying-
just hear comments. not-
Understood. What I'm saying is it's concerning to everyone if they are taking their time and attending the zoning meeting or planning meeting, and if they are not allowed to speak. That tells a lot. I don't think, if it is a time issue, they should have simply not heard the applicant, because I'm pretty sure, not one or two, there might be 20, 30, or 50 people in the zoning board meeting. So just multiply their time, hearing the zoning board application for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then when their time comes up, hey, you don't have, now we hear next week. And half of them will be gone. We have seen this cycle of the process many times in the past. So to give it around, so my request is, again, if you know anybody, not to make any decisions, but let's give that respect to the residents and see, we can treat them better way next time. Thank you, Councilman.
And Councilman, well, I know you're still here. Are you saying the application is still open?
Yes.
Are you saying the public portion is closed of this application?
Not yet.
Okay, so there'll be another time, there'll be another swing at the plate for you to
We
make
want
comment.
to be heard. Yes, we
Okay.
want to be heard. We
Okay.
want that fair opportunity to voice our
Well,
concerns.
And from what I understand, and we will reach out to the BA to communicate with the chairman there. I can't call out a time.
We can't.
We can't actually even communicate with them. But Councilmember, I don't call out a time, and you can let me know later, I'm not putting you on the spot, where this has been a better zoning board for a very long time, and even Councilmember Pointer, who serves on the Environmental Commission, has been very happy with them, and other members, including former Council President Margo Harris. So, I'd like to point to when they've had this problem in the past to make comments, but certainly it is going to be heard. You'll have a chance to do that. But from this body today, to some degree, we are kind of neutral at this, and you want us to be neutral and not have an opinion, which is why this council member has been on for 11 years. We know better to say something about an application because you may get advice or an opinion to appeal something. Then it comes to us to vote to overturn it, and we have to be neutral. So I hope you respect that you're not going to hear anybody say anything on this because you're going to be in hope of their position at a later date, whatever that may be. And so will the gas station be in hope of us voting not to overturn it. So I hope thank you very much, and I'm sorry your time was up. Any other members?
Council President, it seems like they understand that their thing was, they just want to express, it seems like they want to express this opinion to another body of the town.
No, absolutely. We're well heard. Sure. I'm going to move just for a second, only because this gentleman's been waiting for a while. Please come up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alok Sood, Quincy Road, Edison, New Jersey. I guess council, some of you guys may know me from last year. I came here multiple times. Some other people also might have seen me last year multiple times. And President Coyle, you last year also mentioned you don't want to see me come again for this same issue, and here I am again for the same thing. And it's been ironic. Last year, even before the bamboo ordinance was approved, when it was proposed, I came here, Mr. Pointer, who brought the ordinance, he assured me people who are grandfathered, they won't have any issues. It's not for those people, it's for the new bamboo to be planted. And with that assurance, the council approved it. Then I got the summons. I came here again, and then the township attorney, in front of everyone, it was recorded as well, it's still on YouTube, confirmed to me that the summons, I should not have received anything, and I am not in any violations, and I'm grandfather. Again, I kept receiving summons after summons. All year long, I went to the court multiple times. Then in March this year, it was dismissed. I was happy, okay, finally it got closed. April, I again got summons. So I don't know what the summons are for, because first I'm grandfathered, And the second thing is there was no bamboo on the other side when I received the summons in April, not even a single bamboo. So I don't know what the violation was. And the thing is the summons now, again, I have to appear in court. And I understand, like I watched the YouTube from last council meeting, and thank you, President Coyle, you requested the attorney to pull it. So I appreciate that. But the thing is, I mean, at this point, it's been multiple times I've been to the court for no reason. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, we could all use this time to do something productive in the township instead of wasting time, everyone's time, not just my time, court's time, everyone's time we are wasting. I mean, what are we gaining out of it? Nothing. I mean, if I'm grandfathered, I'm grandfathered. Why am I being harassed every time, every month? So I'll appreciate, I mean, I thank you again for supporting me last year when you said that you don't want to see me again for the same issue. And thank you last time when you mentioned that you want to pull it.
I'm going to just do a point of order and stop the clock, only because I want you to have a chance to speak. First, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. At this time, I'm revisiting this only because I'm getting conflicting stories about not just your property, other properties. So I'm asking for the council to do a site visit through the administration's agreement to go to your backyard to observe, not your backyard, we have about 9 backyards to look at. We've just set down 4 opportunities for the council to meet on Zoom or face-to-face over the next 4 Tuesdays. So I want to apologize. I didn't aggressively do enough hard work. Councilmember Patil, I owed it to him to pull this, and today, after further discussion with the attorney, I asked to wait. So he is hard to push to pull this. I asked, and he's still going to make comments, and so will other members, but I was asking the council to wait for us to go back into the yards to look at this. I read the ordinance thoroughly, and I've also spoke to the attorney. Where your position is grandfathered, I'm unsure, because you can have it, which you said you did. I didn't observe this, so though, okay? But it cannot spread to another yard, okay? Today, you can't have it at all, and it's a state law as well not to plant this. So if today you're telling me, and again, I'm just hearing your opinion, but I will be in your yard possibly with permission of the town in the next few days or definitely next week. And we are going to meet over the next 4 meetings, council members individually about this subject, where it should go and how we should pull it and or amend it. So I hope you're satisfied with the aggressive approach I'm going to take. I'm not doing it tonight to put this up to be pulled. I have it here. I also have other pictures to share with members of the council. I have a slideshow presentation I am hoping I don't have to do about other backyards of the issue. So I will look into it. I promise you that. You still have time to comment, but I at least wanted to let you know what I've done so far. And I'm sorry, I failed to do more work prior to this. And I did not like this ordinance from day one. And I did not. Today, I'm revisiting it, and I've changed some of my approach to this, and I'm not complete in the homework to investigate these backyards. So, and on one side, I hear your point. On another side, I have other residents. It's growing through into people's pools. It's growing through. It's almost unstoppable. And I think other members of the public may come up that served on the Environmental Commission or serve in a green capacity for the environment. So I think I'm going to round up on that. I think Councilmember Patil may want to interrupt also. If you can hold, so I'm putting a placeholder on your time. Councilmember Patil wants to also comment during this round.
Absolutely. And Council President, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on this topic. My intent was not to repeal the ordinance. If you remember the last council meeting, I asked very specifically, is there a way for us to pause giving the summonses, the notices, violation until this council comes back with the consensus and amend this ordinance? And you can watch the recording, and you said yes. But that didn't happen. He has the court hearing this week, coming week. So my only ask is, I'm not in favor of repealing. What I'm asking here is, can this body move the resolution on now or any point in time before we close, saying until this body comes back with the consensus, no summonses, no violations will be issued. Again, you take 2 weeks, good. It takes 2 months, at least the homeowner will get the relief. That's only my ask.
Yeah, I think it's a valid ask. The only problem is we don't sit in the judicial lane, and I don't know whether that's
We are a legislative body, Council President. We can pass the resolution tonight, pausing everything that we can.
Counselor?
So
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to hear from the counselor.
at that point, you would be directing the administration's staff.
Absolutely.
In order to essentially usurp the administration's role in governing their staff and directing what their staff does. A resolution that directs the administration to not enforce the ordinances. What essentially would have to be a resolution that directs the members of the Department of Health and the Zoning Department not to conduct a specific action. And I think that that would be problematic in and of itself as a usurpation of the administrative authority over its employees. You could pass an ordinance eliminating that aspect of the ordinance that exists so that it would become a toothless ordinance that would have no enforcement mechanism.
Just repeat that, please, again. I lost you at your last 30 seconds.
Sure. Like I said, I don't know that this council, and I would advise against this council attempting to control the actions directly of the administrative staff.
Heard that.
However, what you could do, rather than a resolution attempting to do that, is you could pass an ordinance that amends the current ordinance and removes the violation provision so that it becomes a toothless ordinance that can't be, it's a distinction without a difference almost. However, one of them usurps administrative authority, the other properly exercises your legislative authority.
I understand.
To
Thank
control
you.
the ordinance.
Thank you.
Let me ask the
However,
question.
there is a medium ground there where you make that request of the administration and the administration makes the determination as to whether or not it would be appropriate to do so. Right? And that
Absolutely, and that request was made 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in the last council meeting, and that's probably, it's on the shoulder of the council president. Let me ask the question to attorney. Is the state legislation overrides the township legislation, or which takes the precedence?
So my understanding is that the state legislation has prohibited the planting of new bamboo.
No, my question is very specific. Which ordinance take the precedence, state or the local?
It depends. So generally speaking, the state legislation preempts the local legislation, but that only occurs when the state has completely preempted the field, i.e. determined to legislate all of the aspects of the particular subject being legislated. In this case, with the state legislation, it doesn't address pre-existing bamboo or the ordinances that may exist already within the states. That's still being debated within the courts themselves as to whether or not those are enforceable or not enforceable.
Understood.
That's where the issue is. That's why I say it depends. Generally speaking, the state has determined that you can't plant new.
Understood. You guys circulated, every council member has this state legislation. If you look at the page number 3, line number 45, 46, clause C, this section shall not apply to running bamboos that was planted before the date of enactment of this section. It clearly says it's grandfathered.
The state legislation says it shall not apply to anything planted before. That doesn't necessarily usurp the local municipality's ability to legislate what already exists or how to deal with bamboo that could be a problem.
Okay, so
it doesn't specifically prohibit the municipalities from having their own more restrictive ordinances. That happens quite frequently.
Okay, my understanding, again, we might have to double click on that with our prior attorney. What I was told when I had introduced pay-to-play ordinance, that the state legislation takes the precedence over the local ordinance, and that's where we couldn't do anything. So that's why I'm saying you can double click it, but
And that's accurate generally. Generally speaking, the state legislation preempts when they try to occupy the same field. If they don't occupy the same field in its entirety, if the state legislation addresses one aspect of it and the local legislation addresses a different aspect of it, that doesn't always invalidate the municipality's ability to control its own affairs. The only time that the municipality is prohibited from controlling its own affairs is when the state has fully enveloped the field.
Yeah, have you read this legislation?
Yes.
Okay. Have you realized that it covers every single aspect? A bamboo, every single aspect. I read everything. That's what I'm saying. Probably our ordinance doesn't cover the thing that is covered in this legislation. So it is an exhaustive that includes every single condition, yet you say that, hey, local could prohibit. So either you have to be consistent with what you're giving the opinion to this council as.
I just want to so aside from the subject matter we're discussing, any change that you want to make to any ordinance we've done with other subjects, you can certainly do that to, enhance what the state tells you what you should be doing. Okay, you can further. You mentioned pay to play. Yes, we can create ordinances that takes that further. Okay. So I'm trying to follow. What is your question? What would you like the administration to do?
My request, again, I requested that 2 weeks ago, I'm requesting again, until this council comes with the consensus on the bamboo, or not the bamboo ordinance, actually that ordinance itself of the invisible species, no summonses should be, or the violation should be issued. Again, it's a matter of 2 weeks. If we can hold on that, I think we're good. We don't need to do anything.
Counselor, I have never heard of a request coming from the body to take that kind of directive. So you'll have to tell me exactly how you want our property maintenance staff to do something like that, especially if we have pending matters.
So,
Counselor, we're not having that conversation right now. And I'm sorry, Councilman, we're not going to direct zoning what to do.
I'm not asking. I'm not
I know,
asking,
but
yeah.
I'd like to stay clear of that. I'm going to have a meeting first thing tomorrow morning to rectify this face-to-face on this ordinance with our counselor on the phone to determine a closer look at the meaningful purpose of this ordinance. And I will have a strong meeting for an hour to get this outlined in the open. Is that fair? We will have a meeting tomorrow morning before 12 o'clock.
Sure. I just want to understand, though,
We are not directing any
So
department.
we are just doing what we
We are just
have
going to go
been
over
doing.
the actual ordinance and identifying the conversation Councilman Patil has talked about, the state process, the pre-existing bamboo, and so forth. And I got to be clear with this because it's going back and forth too much. And we're not done airing out the laundry tonight either, but I also want to have a separate meeting on that discussion with you.
So, Council President, I have a few comments about this bamboo. So I saw past
You've
few
been the
council-
longest-standing resident with 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Okay, I'm-
Did you want to sit down? Do you want to use up your time and speak now?
Yeah, I think
Or do you want to hear his comments?
my comments will not
Okay, go
trigger
ahead.
anything else, so he can finish his time and then I can go.
Yeah, let me finish your time, only because, please make a comment
Okay, sure.
right now. You start the clock, please.
Thank you, both of you. But President Coyle, there's one thing I want to bring to your attention. You want to check if there is bamboo or not. But the problem is, if their bamboo already exists, I mean, roots are everywhere. If it's there for like 10 years, and in my case, when I came to you guys the first time, even before it was approved, I brought a point that this house was abandoned for 5 years from 2015 till 2020. All the stuff was coming towards my side. I had at least 10 Norway spruce planted. All of them died because all this stuff started coming to my side. And bamboo started growing as well. So now if this new house was built, from his perspective, I grew the bamboo. But from my perspective, it came from the other side. So how is it fair to me when you guys are telling me that I need to take care of it now? It's not, I mean, that's where the grandfather comes in. If the bamboo's there, the roots are everywhere. How can you assume that I'm supposed to go and dig every root on the other side now? So what is grandfather then?
Well, the grandfather, as far as I read this ordinance, is that you would contain your bamboo either in if you had a pre-existing above-ground pot, if you had an above-ground bed, or you had a pre-existing in your actual planter, that you would contain it to not go across the border line.
If it's already there, how can you contain something? I have a glass of water, I throw it, how can I put it back?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that, I'm not a lawyer. I have a lawyer next to me, but in any matter like this, it may be a civil matter that's argued in a different courtroom on who planted it and who's responsible. I don't think you're going to win. I don't think you're going to win that argument. I think a neighbor, if you're no different than an oil tank that you inherited that spills across a few property lines, you are the person that's going to clean up that oil on that next property. This is pretty close to oil seeping and just infects the land of someone else's. It's not oil, but it is a root system that is causing a big problem. I stand to be as confused as you are on how difficult it is for you to put up with. I'm just saying from my point today, and Councilman Patil called me earlier today, we had debated for an hour on the phone. We're not pulling it today. I am going to ask the administration if I could permission to access your property to see this problem face-to-face with other council members. And if the root system is on the other side of people's property, I think we're entering another boundary of a civil litigation that person has to have to take up with you. I don't know where we stop and start, and I'm going to find that out further. Okay?
That's what
But
I was told.
your time is up, and I'm not trying to, if you want to just have a brief comment, but your time is
Just a
up.
brief comment. I mean, that's what I was told when I came here the first time by Mr. Poyner, that it will be a civil suit. Township will not step in because I'm grandfather. And to your point of oil, the problem in this case is oil is not going from my property to their property. It came from the other property, and now the other property is saying that I'm the one responsible for it.
Okay. Again, and I know you're finished your comments, but no different than any civil lawsuit for someone who has, access, something encroaching on their property. So I'm going to sit with the counselor and see where the discussion goes, or we find and stop, and then it just goes to a litigation between two neighbors, and that neighbor should have to take you to court. I personally would take you to court if this was in my yard, and I'd find out whether you've planted it or somebody else planted it. I'm not the one that dropped the seed to start this, and your claim today is you did not plant this.
Yeah.
You never planted bamboo in your backyard.
No.
It just appeared.
Yeah. I mean, I moved it from when it was already there. I moved it from a little bit from here to there, a couple of them, but otherwise.
You inherited the bamboo through the purchase of the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, that's what it is now.
I don't think that stops your responsibility, but again, I'm not saying the things you want to hear today, but the first thing is we're going to do some work. I've asked the administration to set up 4 dates that we can have discussions with rotating council people and the council president. That's the best I can do for you today. I can't stop the fines right now, but I'm going to ask for a meeting tomorrow as well to clarify this position and sit with the counselor. I'm hoping to move forward on this agenda. If the counselor wants to interrupt me and override me, he can. If another member wants to talk more, I can't stop that. But at the moment, I'm hoping to move forward and have these meetings with each member here, including Councilman Brescher, Councilman Patil, Asaf, and Mr. Kentos, and Kelly Dema. So we will be approaching this in the next 4 weeks, every Tuesday, to have a meeting.
Thank you.
Okay? Did anybody else? He's finished commenting, but on this particular matter, any other council comments on the bamboo?
Council President. Okay, so I was not a council member last year, and when this, but in last few days, I have seen, when this was brought to my attention, I have seen many council meetings from last year where this bamboo ordinance was repeatedly talked about, right? So there's a state law, from what I understand, and Councilman Poyner did a very detailed PhD kind of research on it, I believe, and he brought a lot of points of light to people's attention, and that's where this came in. If I may be incorrect, but that's what happened. And this resident has been getting a lot of summons from township for whatsoever reasons. I 100% agree with Mr. Burns. He says that that directive so that's very helpful to know, that we don't want to give administration any directive to tell people not to do their job. So that's very helpful to know in any decisions that we make. So that being said, doing something tonight may open up, some issues. So that I understand from what Mr. Bunn said. So we don't want to do, it may not be a good idea to do something tonight. But the biggest concern is from the meetings, the videos that I saw
1 minute.
all last year was this gentleman comes in and Mr. Poyner, former Councilman Poyner, and many other council members, including you guys who were here, say, oh yeah, we guys all agree that it's grandfathered and you good, and they talk to you offline, right? I saw all of that. And then everyone agreed multiple times. I think an attorney, was not Mr. Burns, some other attorney agreed, yeah, you're good, your grandfather, you're good. So we'll be taking care of you. And then yet again, you have to come again and again to the same meeting, same chambers, and talk about the same thing again. And we talked about this earlier this year too. We talked about it the last meeting when Councilman Patil brought it up. And I think the agreement was in this meeting, we are going to have a language to work on which we can resolve the problems. Again, I'm not taking any side of whether you are right or the neighbor is right or whoever is right, but it was agreed upon. Then last meeting was 3 weeks back. This time we had a 3-week break. And today we stand here and really, we don't have the language yet. So I understand, yes, we should take a look at it, and I agree. Tonight is not a night to act. But where do we stand like next meeting? Is he going to keep coming again and we're going to go in circles with this thing, or are we definitely going to move forward with it? Because we are wasting a lot of time on this bamboo thing.
Listen, I have some photos. I have some photos we're going to just put up just so that we can understand some of the, and I don't want to go too deep into this, and I'm hoping we can just move to our meetings there. But
Well, Council President,
we can show good and bad both the sides. Okay.
I don't have to show them. These are Google photos.
If you're showing them, then I need to bring up with the good things.
Okay, remove the photos. The point, Councilman, we're in the discussion. We're hot in the discussion. Just finish it. These are just Google photos of a situation that a member of the council wants removed. That's a lot more complicated than just removing.
I'm not asking to remove.
Okay, or
Again,
amend
I'm
it.
clarifying very
Clearly, you
clear.
said amend. I rescind that. You want it amended in that. So to not look at photos to see how aggressive this is for those who are watching and those who are here in the audience, this is not just a tree seeping onto someone's property, which we all have dealt with, and there are many people here with more experience, I'm not saying who, that have seen trees grow, onto others' property. This is, I'm just taking a stronger look at it.
I understand, but as I
I
said,
brought pictures only to discuss. If you don't want to see them, I get the point.
I don't want to see them
I'm not
because
looking to lean.
I would
just
like
want
to present the good pictures as well that I'm witnessing 20 years in my neighborhood and there is nothing there. I'll be happy to provide those pictures to you.
I'm not going to show the pictures out of respect to
Thank you.
leaning the council. I just want to share with you, there's value in us going to the backyards to make sure we see what the zoning is seeing, if that is allowed by the administration. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to.
Council President,
One last, go ahead.
Council President, so that's fine, and we should do that, but my concern remains about the timeline, right? So this is since last year, like Councilman Poyner said, all good and everything, and again, so many things happen, but it keeps moving from one meeting to other to other. So what's the definite action plan? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand here.
It's fair that over the next few meetings, we will discuss this, and for the July 20th meeting, we will have an ordinance that is pulled and an ordinance that is amended, or nothing at all, one of the three.
Yeah.
But I can.
So why is it July 20, not June 24th?
That's a great question. I just wanted more time, but if we were to push it to July 20 to June 24th, that's very well possible.
Yeah, I mean, if it's July, it's July. That's
Very well
fine.
possible.
That's fine too. But
I think you're going to get more environmentalists involved in this tomorrow. Than
no, that's
we
fine.
did
The
yesterday.
gentleman could be wrong. There could be a concern, whatever. But whatever decision we make, can this chapter come to an end one way or other?
I think we have enough time. I think we have enough time to have this discussion, visit the backyards, and yes, okay. I want to move forward on bamboo, if it's okay.
Well, Council President, I'd just like to, one comment.
No, Rich, you promised.
No, just one
You made a
quick
promise.
One quick one.
No, listen, Rich, there's
it's-
never 1 minute.
No, it is. It's going to be less than a
I'm
minute.
kidding. Please,
It's
Councilman
one
Brescia.
comment. I'd say a lot of us recognize this is a problem, okay? Bamboo's a problem. We also recognize that trying to decipher who is responsible for it is a problem. Why don't we just amend it to something really simple where when you sell your house, all bamboo has to be removed from your house? Eventually then bamboo will be gone because when you buy your home, your bamboo will be bamboo free, right? And eventually the bamboo will be gone and we don't have to fight about who's responsible and back and forth, and we don't have to talk about it, and spend more time at our meetings, so we miss the game. But
I'm open to have that discussion, Rich. Thanks a lot. Okay, but it's a great amendment, whether it fits in the criteria of deed transfers and so forth. I don't have that answer, and I'm going to leave that for discussion. Thank you. Okay, council members, I'm going to move forward, and we're not going to talk about bamboo, if it's possible. But I promise. And welcome, sir. If you want, please state your name and address.
My name is Raghuram Rayasam. I live in 2 Yolanda Drive, Edison.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, this is regarding the same thing which my neighbor Rahul described you about the convenience store. A growing group of neighborhood residents opposed to the proposed convenience store at 764 New Durham Road. Our neighborhood already has 3 convenience stores very close by, within 1 mile radius. Still, the gas station they want to construct a convenience store. It is very inconvenience for the residents. The proposed store will bring increased traffic, dangerous congestion, crime, loitering, and serious safety risks to children who walk and wait for school buses. And these very streets, every single day, this is not about convenience. This is about this is not the community need for this hour. And the zoning board is appointed by council members, right? So is there any way you can help us with this? I mean, can you guys support us or anyway? I mean, in case the zoning board is leaning towards approving it, what is the next step for the residents?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
We can't have a position. Stop the clock, please. As I mentioned before, the council cannot have a position. We're listening to you. We listen to residents and the business community. If that is appealed and comes to us, we can then vote on it. And
appeal
our
means,
vote.
I didn't get what is appeal means.
Okay. Let the council explain it.
So this actually happened, I want to say 2 years ago, with a different application before the zoning board. Members of the council then made comments on it, appeared at the zoning board, and it created issues during an appeal once the application was granted, and individuals appealed the approval of the zoning board to the council. Because of the council's interference with, and those members are no longer on the council, the appellate division or the Superior Court, when it was appealed to the Superior Court, had issues with whether or not they should have been recused or recused themselves, whether or not there was improper influence by the fact that they had expressed opinions, taken a position, or participated in the events at the zoning board. The zoning board is an independent, established entity that needs to be free to act without undue influence from the council or from the administration. They need to do their job. This council is putting itself in a worse position. If it comments, it's putting itself in a worse position to effectively and objectively review any appeal that comes before them if they take a position now rather than when the actual evidence and facts are put before them. You're here with your point of view on the application. I don't know anything about the application. You could be 100% correct about the issues with it. However, it's you, someone who is opposed to it, expressing a completely opposed to it view. There's no one here from the developer, from the property owner. There's no experts here. There's no attorneys here. There's no counter argument to what you have to say. And that's your right to come here and say it. But the council cannot comment on it, cannot
I understand that,
express
yeah.
any kind of opinion on it, cannot offer you any kind of guidance or assurances or attempt to influence the zoning board in any way, so that you understand what the council can and cannot do. They can listen to you, they can thank you for your time, they can thank you for your concern, and that's it.
As a resident, can I appeal once the zoning board approves? Should I have an
I
attorney?
can't give you that kind of advice. It's all in the codes and statutes about what the process is.
But, so I want to restart the clock with you.
Council President, wait, I just need to correct our attorney, just for a moment. When he said that that in that past case, that somebody went and they spoke and they're no longer here.
I understand, Mr. Brescher. I know that was
We
you,
forgot-
but
we
honestly,
forgot you're here.
your involvement was the least problematic because once you were advised, you stopped being involved. Yours was not the one I had an issue with.
Right, and just so that he knows, this was something that the public never knew, really. In fact, a lot of council people didn't even know, because council doesn't want to be dragged into overturning other boards. But unfortunate for us, that is how our government, I think, was set up, you were explaining. So, that process you'll work through, but you should just go through the process and speak about, what you're looking for down there.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Brescher.
Yeah, I have one more question.
I'm gonna let him finish his comments so he's done. And there will be people to direct you down at the zoning department on the question you had to the counselor. That question you'll get answered very easy through ChatGPT or anything. We just can't give you advice or opinion. But please continue. Start the clock.
Yeah, thank you so much for the response. And the gas station which I was talking about, that owner has a 200 plus gas stations in New Jersey, and he's a rich guy and he has a option to hire a lawyer and whatever he needs to get the approval. But as a resident, how can we get a help? Who can help us in these legal matters?
Continue your questions, please. I'll answer all of them at the end. We're not going to have a back and forth. We're done with that part. You just could ask questions.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
I'm
answer
done
them.
with my questions, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you can remain standing there if you want to.
Sure.
But essentially, we don't have an opportunity to fund a project to oppose a project. That's not something this body does. You'd be speaking of a public advocate. In the past, people want a public advocate. I did not support a public advocate, okay? And there's a lot of questions in that public advocate. But the question you're raising is valid, but what would have to happen is you'd have to fund your own opposition in a project, if that helps you. I'm sorry that I don't have better answers, but I will direct you to the right people in zoning to speak to you about that. I will establish communication with the BA to make sure your questions are answered by another professional.
Thank you.
Okay? I'm sorry.
Council President, with regards to this question for Mr. Burns, if the application gets rejected in zoning, does it come to council? Or if it gets approved, it comes to council, and what are the options? How does it come, just from previous experience, from Charlie Brown's?
Generally speaking, it wouldn't come to the council. If it's rejected, the developer, property owner would generally skip the council and go straight to the Superior Court for an adjudication. Because generally speaking, if the zoning board rejects something, it is very rare for the council to then turn around and approve it. That's a matter of politics and not really something that I should be commenting on or getting involved in. But generally speaking, when a zoning board application is denied, they'll just go straight to the Superior Court for an adjudication on trying to get it overturned.
But I think what Councilman Patel is asking is the reverse. If it was approved, and what is our experience? What our experience is, if it's approved and it was appealed by, you can take it from here.
Yeah. So in prior experience, if it was approved and there was significant objection to it, there are grounds that can be utilized to appeal that approval to the council. The council has a certain standard for review that they have to meet. There are submissions to the council that have to be done. It's all laid out by the statutory authority that allows it and the ordinance that was adopted pursuant to that statutory authority. That's what happens when someone wants to bring it to the council for review. From the council, it can then be appealed to the Superior Court, because you always have the option to take it to the Superior Court if you don't like the results of what you've gotten either at the zoning board, here, at the Superior Court, you go to the appellate division. If you still don't like what you've gotten, sometimes the Supreme Court of New Jersey will take it. A lot of times they won't, but sometimes they will. So that's the path that it takes.
So if you or any other council members remember from the past, how did Charlie Brown application end up in council for a vote?
We're not, Council, let me just, real quick. I just want to move forward on this.
Okay.
And I don't want to, I think there's a lot of back, and I don't, at the end of the day, we have a chance to appeal. The appeal can come to us, and if it comes to us, we will have a valid, neutral vote on that application for an appeal. That's the point of why I don't want anybody to comment what they love about life, other than being a member that represents the entire town. Or don't dislike it. And Councilman Patil can speak for that, and Councilman Brescher knows. We don't comment on Facebook. We don't go to rallies. You may not like that. If a member does, they'll have to recuse themselves from voting. So, but you and I will have a discussion separate. Moving forward, any other members? Can I just go to the back? Some people have been waiting and in the back. There.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
If you want to state your name and address.
Yes, my first name is Sergio Mansuri. My address is 236 Waldman Avenue in Edison, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Would this be better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just have 2-3 questions about specifically something that was approved last month in the council. They're the flock cameras. It's something I wasn't necessarily aware of, something that it looks like it's kind of been something that we've already
Can you
installed.
speak closer to the mic? I'm sorry.
No,
pull it up to you. Don't be afraid to make a mess out of it. And
I just feel that
you're tall. Go ahead.
Taller. My questions will be rather quick. My first question is, the flock cameras are used. I'm going to start the conversation with the fact that I don't have any doubts on the integrity of our Edison police force, nor their use of it. I just don't know what a flock camera is, nor do I understand its purpose. And I was hoping for that question to be answered. And then the second question, from at least my limited quick research on it, is is there a formal contract in the use of that information from the flock camera system? That's really it for me.
Can you be specific in that last question, please?
Sure. So, let's start with the first one. Maybe that may influence the second question.
We understand the first question. Very clear.
Sorry?
We understand the first question.
Oh, okay, cool. So the second question is, from at least what I understand about the flock camera systems, from what I what I Googled, is that the flock camera systems are basically used to identify vehicles in, I guess, at the Edison area, and they only track, I believe, license plates and vehicle numbers. But I think the concern I have right now on this is the fact that, like, I would imagine that there would be some type of image and facial recognition associated with that. That's kind of the concern that I have. Like, are flock cameras allowed to, I guess, utilize facial recognition? Does that make sense?
Okay. I just want to be clear. I think you may be asking a question. I'm not trying to steer you, but you're worried about shared data of the property. Okay. That's a question, and I'll have the captain answer, but I can tell you before we pass this, my IT colleague, Councilman Patil, and I definitely had a conversation about this, and also my IT colleague, Councilman Kentos. From what I understand, the software we will only share with agencies that we have interest in that have a collateral, interest in sharing with us. Now, I'm going to have the captain speak, but that's the answers we believe that we're sharing. We're not sharing with anybody else. It's not just an opt-in. It's not I'll do you a favor. It's with agencies at stake that we want to exchange information with for the purpose to protect our community. But if you're concerned whether someone has the right to go there and say, hey, did my friend cross through this town? That will flag an interest, and that data will be skewed for that person who made that request. So you can't just do random, work like that unless it's associated with a case and a purpose. So I hope I'm helping you with this directive, and I'm going to go to the chief. I just didn't want to distort. No, not distort. I was confusing your question, but we're all over this when it comes to data sharing, and I don't like them from day one. But at the same, so I'm going to speak to my chief or the BA. Would you mind me directing to our captain, Sonia?
Thing that I have to add is that the contract with Flock is for maintenance and for the software. So that's what, and so it's done through sort of a lease program. So that's how we've established that entire program itself, just from that standpoint.
Okay.
But I'll defer to the captain for additional information.
Council President, if you just want to be more specific, I know he had a few concerns or questions. I don't want to miss any, so.
I think, essentially what he was identifying is how we share data, what, the use of the software.
Gotcha.
The use of the software and the purpose of the purpose of it was his first question, and then whether we're sharing data, and if we were, who we sharing data with.
So the purpose of, and I appreciate your question, the purpose of that equipment is to run investigations. It's very rare that an investigation will start and end in Edison. A lot of them either end here, begin here, but our detective bureau works every day with multiple jurisdictions, multiple agencies. And those agencies that also have flock cameras in their jurisdiction, we share data, share information with them. We work hand in hand with several agencies throughout New Jersey. In terms of the confidentiality, I understand your concern. We share this information with nobody except other law enforcement agencies. The information that we do gather is license plates, make and model of vehicle, color of the vehicle, location of the vehicle, which can help narrow it down. Now, to get any further into detail, I'd be doing our detectives a disservice by giving too much information out. As far as locations of these cameras, I'm not going to disclose that, or what they look like, or whether, anything to that for the criminals to hear. But I assure you that the data that we do share with other jurisdictions is investigation-based. And every time a flock camera, I can tell you this, with the addition of the flock cameras over the last couple of years, our solvability rates and most crimes that have taken place in Edison, that's our go-to tool. It's been invaluable.
I understand that I may be out of time, but
You're,
am I
I
totally
think
out
your
of
time is up.
Totally? All right.
I hope we were helpful.
It was.
Was there anything else, sir?
There was one other question, but I don't want to. Up to you.
Unfortunately, your time is up. I would
May I
like,
speak
I would have liked to.
Offline, yeah, we can talk.
Offline.
Absolutely.
The captain will be here if you have the time to stay. I think he may stay. He's usually a nice guy and stays. You're not going to get coffee or anything fancy. I can tell you that. Thank you. I just want to share this to council members. We did have an emergency and our council vice president had to leave, and I'm happy to hear his father's, he mentioned and say his father's doing okay. He did take a fall, and there was also a potential heart attack. So I was concerned for a while, so excuse myself or any member who heard this that did not properly listen to, because he's a good friend too. And we all know what that's like to have an emergency. He doesn't ever abruptly leave a meeting, so I'm looking for him. And so my prayers are with his family. Moving forward, we had, I'm just going to get to some other people on a different subject. Mr. Stoschel in the back.
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road. Thank you, Council President, for the update on Mr. Kentos's father. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He really is. On June 2nd, Middlesex County announced they were hiring a Florida-based sports facility company to manage the new 6,500-seat stadium on Woodbridge Avenue, the new artificial turf sports complex on Thomas Edison Park, and a full-service restaurant and bar on the Middlesex County College campus. Prior to this, the county had, in their bogus CIO plan, said they were building a new student center at Middlesex College. Nowhere did they say they were building a sports bar on campus where most of the students are below drinking age. The announcement also says that the county will use Middlesex College culinary students in the restaurant to gain a hands-on experience. This is a government-built and funded restaurant and bar that will use low-cost student labor to compete with our existing restaurants and bars in Edison. To operate this bar, they're going to need a liquor license, and as we heard earlier, there are no new liquor licenses available in Edison. 2 years ago, the county had to get approval from the National Park Service to cut down 11 acres of forest to build the plastic field complex in Thomas Edison Park. In the documents they submitted to the Park Service, the county said it would operate Thomas Edison Park, charge reasonable fees, and all fees that were collected had to remain in the park for maintenance. Now it looks like a for-profit management company will take the first cut of the fees and leave little for the park. That's not what the county told the Park Service or the public in 2024, but maybe it was their plan all along. Those of us who opposed the destruction of Thomas Edison Park in 2024 knew this is what they were planning. And that's why we always said we wanted a free park, not a fee park. And I think it's time Edison demands from the county host community benefits, where the county pays us for the hassle of having increased traffic and noise from these facilities that they're building down there. Earlier, a resident asked about the trolley that was on the agenda. I'd like to follow up on that. I am co-chair of the America 250 Edison Celebration Committee, and we are planning a series of historic trolley tours of Edison on 2 weekends in August. The trolleys will hold like about 30 people, and we will do 4 rides on two Sundays. We'll take everybody around town to look at the historic sites. So I think it'll be a really fun event, and it's part of our celebration of the country's 250th anniversary and our Edison's revolutionary heritage. Thank you.
Mr. Stoschel, if you can stay there and just state the date and the day when you're going to have that.
You got me. I forget which days, but there's two.
No,
it's 2 Sundays in August. They're in my notes at home. I didn't bring them, but next council meeting I'll update you on.
Thank you.
On that, and I'm glad you passed the resolution so we can do this. It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting tour.
Absolutely, and it will be very informative for all the residents. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Former Councilman Joyce Shipp.
Joyce Shipp, Edison, New Jersey. I'm in total agreement because the zoning board gives out like a 2 million variances. If you say I need 14 variances, they say, oh, you need one more? So I don't even know why they have a zoning board, because you can just go in there and get whatever you want, that has anything to do with it. And now on Woodbridge Avenue, I'm blocked off from that monstrosity of cutting down all the beautiful trees at Edison and all those things that, after the Raritan Arsenal and all the stuff that's under the ground, half the ammunition and stuff. So I'm blocked off that way. I can't get down there. Then there is Wawa here, Wawa there. Then now you telling me that my last street, New Durham. I'm like this. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sandwiched in between them. Now here we go. And Shell, you can't even live decently in there. South Bronx, that's what I'm talking about. That's how horrible it is living here now. No matter where you go, you can't drive. The streets were made for a small town. Nobody thought to widen them. Nobody thought we were going to overbuild this crazy. This is so ridiculous that after a while, you get outside and you don't even take your car. Because it takes you 2 to 3 hours. What you do is you get outside and you start early, pack your lunch, and you start walking to the next destination. That's what's so horrible with it. And as I spoke earlier about the disbursements, about the people making 6 figures and stuff, they make so much money, they don't live in Edison. So the people tell me, that's what they tell me. They said, they take those cars down to Jackson, they go here, they go there, they go everywhere, and we paying for it. I'm paying for you. You making 6 figures, not me. I'm a retired teacher, so you know teachers never made money at all, point blank. And then Christie cut us the rest of the way off. So now we flat with that. But people want to know, why are all these people that make 6 figures, why do they get gas? Why do they get cars? Why do they get all their tolls paid? Why is all this? I'm telling you that when you're doing the budget. It's not fair to us that live here that we got to pay for everybody else that lives someplace else while we edge down the street and barely maybe make it, to the next corner, all right? And I can go from Wawa to Wawa back and forth, but I can't go to a real grocery store back. All those things stand when we in. It's like ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that's crazy. And that's why I was asking about the trolley. I don't want it just for that little bit of time. I think we need the trolley for a good while. I don't know if you guys know where we live at over there by Durham. They're building them homes over there by the recycling center, all right? So over in that spot, it's already congested. 10 new homes. Yeah, 10 new homes. It's already congested. How good could we be? And then as I talk about our armored truck, he said it's going to be crime. I said, well, don't worry, we'll get the armored truck to come on now. But I know for a fact, 10 years ago during the Obama administration, he wouldn't let people give those things out because people were trying to give them back. There's no reason for them whatsoever. Not at all. Because we got all these police officers, we got more lieutenants than we can count, more captains than we can count, more sergeants than we can count. I think we got so many chiefs, I don't know where the Indians are, all right? So I don't understand why we need a militarization. And the last but not least, the reason why the administration don't care about the lawsuits against discrimination and stuff, because Jeff pays it, because Jeff pays it.
Your time is up. Anyone else in the back? Yes, sir. After him.
Good evening. This is Kulvinder Dhamija, 10 Sturgis Road. I was here last time with a request about my permit. It's a permit for my house, but I am having issues with that. And I requested last time, and the president spoke to Councilman Patel, who got in touch, and I spoke to somebody, and there were some emails exchanged. And I think after a week or so, I could meet the person from the administration. And he took me to the engineering director. I met him for about 5 seconds. He said, I'm busy. And he said, come on Tuesday. I went on Tuesday. And still, they wanted more information. I gave more information. I am waiting on the response. Now, the thing is about the process. I am absolutely clear that unless the person, the township is absolutely clear that I can do this work, only then they'll give permission, and I'll wait. I have to wait. I have no other option. For my side, I'm ready. I have a dumpster lying on my driveway. I have made all the orders, where to give, Home Depot, Wayfair, everywhere, and what to buy. It's a small renovation. I gave an Oprah request, about certain information, which will be coming through sometime. They told me 7 business days. And about this process again, it's, learning, of course. And my only request was that if I can sit with somebody, I'm making a bathroom. I'm in a room and making a closet. So bathroom is, the width is 5 feet. I'm going to put a shower 3 feet by 5 feet. I made on a drawing. Next to it is toilet. I left 3 feet for that. And I Googled, it says you need to have 15 inches each side, 30 inches, which is less than 36. I have a sink next to it, 3 feet. All this fits in. Clearance, 15 inch around. the toilet and all that, couple of things. So what I was requested was, if the township tells me what else they want in this, I can do those things. But they said, no, go to architect, get drawings. So I'm in the process. What I thought probably, I mean, I didn't get to meet the township people for last 15 years, but last 1 year I have gone around. And my impression about the government is that the people don't want to work and they're lazy or whatever, So I went in, I met a lot of people, and I felt they're qualified. They're well qualified, they know their job. And the second thing is about the attitude. Do they want to help or not? I found they're helpful. They want to help, but they have a constraint of time and a constraint of process. So they are tied to a process. If I have to go to the now acting officiating president, I will walk like this, and it will take me 10 seconds. I'll be there. But what my perception today still is, if you tell the town guy to go, and you tell him how much time you will take to reach there, they say, I don't know. And when I ask them after 1 hour, he's saying, I've been walking in a spiral and still not reach the Councilman Patil. That opinion I hold firm. And this process will let me know how it goes. And about Toth Center, again, I met the mayor 2.5 years back. There's a small playground. I will take my grandchildren there to play. I have been denied that thing. I can't take them there. That building is coming up. I don't know for whom and how long it will take. And of course, I was waiting for the president to be here. He's not here. I raised a point about a copier, which I don't have information still, which I think is a big mistake town is making. They are going to lease a copier for 4 years and paying $25,000.
Sir, your time is up.
That's a lot of money.
Yep, thank you.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I'm going back to that Resolution 299. I was rather dismayed at the council. I thought Councilman Patil had a reasonable request to give it 2 weeks to satisfy him as to what the costs will be for this armored vehicle. I gave you my opinion that as long as the captain thought it was worth doing, we should do it. If it saves one life over 10 years, that's perfect. But your request to just ask some specifics and wait 2 weeks to say yes, I thought was reasonable. Now, President Coyle asked the captain, do you want this today? And he said, yes. But he neglected to say, would it be horrible to respect your wishes and wait 2 weeks? Never asked that. And I was very upset by it happening, and none of the rest of you, or enough of you, gave you the respect to get that answer or to get your requests. It's a big thing happening. It was a little shocking to read about, but I took it that, yes, if it's going to be worth for the town, do it. But I really appreciated you asking those questions. What is it going to be beginning? Not just the maintenance, not just the holding on to it and putting it in a garage. What is it going to be like when you first get it? I was told, or I heard, that it was 5 years old. And then all of a sudden I heard it could be 15 years old. Well, my car at 5 years old looked pristine. Well, my car now at 15 years old still looks great, but it doesn't look as good as it did at 5 years. So what will it take to initially bring it up to code or whatever it costs? You're given 2 weeks. Find out. And they may come back and say, you know what? It's in pristine, and it's not that. And then we can move on, and everyone could be satisfied. So I really don't understand why it's just no, no, no. And when you abstained, I understood why you abstained, but it didn't really do any good, did it? So I'm just asking, and you're probably going to say no. You asked the captain, does he want it today? He said yes, but nobody asked him, would it be detrimental in 2 weeks? And that's all I'm asking for. And I'm done.
Councilman?
Thank you, sir. Yes,
Yes, I'd like to comment to that.
sure.
Myself, to be honest with you, I was entirely disappointed by this body. And I'll tell you why. I've sat on the Board of Ed, I've sat here, I've supported things, I've not supported things, right? I've been vehemently against things. But when you have double meetings, right, and the meetings are combined, and you get an agenda that comes on a Friday, or sometimes even a Thursday, right? But it's a nice weekend, so you don't really get to check it until Monday or Tuesday. Most of the items, like 99% of the items, with the exception of some of our appropriations that we need for our budget, we don't need today or tomorrow. Like this armored tank vehicle that we were talking about, right? I mean, if the police really want to intimidate people, like one of our residents said, you know, in Delaney Hall where they used it, Edison has a tank. Like, I'll be honest with you. You come to my house in a tank, I'm pretty much intimidated. I don't know about the metal vehicle, but the tank I'm definitely, you know, intimidated by. But where I go with is as a body, this shows you a dysfunctional body, right? When a body cannot give the other members the respect, the ability to get that information for things that don't necessarily need to be bought today, right? It tells you that we're dysfunctional. So yes, and I believe that we've been like this quite some time. I've been up here through the past administration, when Bob Deal was a councilman here, right? Bob Deal always, if you didn't have the information, Bob had no problem with putting something, you know, and getting you that information. And I'd like to see this body get back to that. Like when somebody doesn't have that information, where you give your colleagues that respect. And right, that's been lost for many years now. So hopefully one day we get back to that. Thank you for pointing that out, Ms. Conway.
Thank you, Councilman. Yes, sir. You know, before you start, before the clock starts, let me ask the question to Captain. If it is delayed by 2 weeks, would it have been detrimental? So that was the question that was asked.
I can't, and nobody in this room can predict what's going to happen tonight, tomorrow, the next 2 weeks. If you're offering me an opportunity to put my officers in a vehicle that's going to provide them additional safety today, then I want it today. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. We have a SWAT team that may be activated tonight to respond to an emergency, to save lives, to put their lives at risk. And if you're offering me an opportunity to put those SWAT team members in a military-style protective vehicle today, then of course I'm going to say yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We need more? We're good?
Okay. Clock starts now.
Thank you. My name is Vijay Achanta and live at 421 Durham Avenue, Edison. And I want to talk about the same topic about the convenience store, which is at 764 New Durham Road. It may look repetitive to you guys. First of all, even before that, good evening, everyone. I should have started with that. Good evening, all the council members. And I want to thank you personally for all the work that you put in. And I'm here primarily because of the... Okay. I'm primarily here because of the same concern about the convenience store next to my house. And I want to raise that this is going to cause us a serious safety issues. I already had couple of personal, I faced issues because of this gas station. Now with this convenience store, people are going to loiter there, make a hell of that place, and it is so scary. And I also want to understand from this council, like how many variances is the limit that anybody can apply?
We're going to wait for all your questions.
Yeah,
and-
okay.
and,
So I want to
finish these.
understand, like,
Ask them all now. I'm going to
yeah.
write that down for you, no problem.
So how many variances is the max that we can go to? And can anybody apply for anything that they want? And the zoning board will consider all of those requests? Because last time we came, we were 50 of us were here, 50 of the residents were here, and we were made to wait 3.5 hours. After that, they did not give an opportunity. So 50 people into 3.5 hours, that's the amount of time that we have spent. And today we again took time. All this because of somebody applied for some unfancy thing that which they wanted to do in the neighborhood. I mean, this is really, really stressful, causing a lot of stress for us. And I really want to understand what is the process. Can I apply for something? I want to open a hotel next to the gas station tomorrow. Can I go ahead and apply? I mean, there is no end to this building here. There are 10 new houses on the other side. There is 250 apartments, that campsites that are opening down the lane. What is when will this stop? So that's all I had the questions. And
I'm going to try to answer a little
Yeah.
bit here for you.
Thank you.
First, at any given time, an owner of property or a person who's under contract to purchase a property, if they choose to spend and invest that money with an unknown outcome, which most people have a calculation of outcome, they can, invest that money in an application, knowing that it may fit into the criteria of that neighborhood. So if you wanted to, if you had the money and the time to apply for a hotel, you will have a challenge by the neighborhood like yourself here today, but people to some degree could make an application for what they want to do with their property if they feel like spending the money on the engineering time and site plan, traffic, and studies to do that. Is their outcome upside down? Good chance it is, but they can do that with a property if they choose to. Now, as far as you being at the meeting and having to listen to testimony, it's procedure that the zoning board and the chairman request that experts, and it's pretty much a basic that they come in and they make a presentation with their engineer. All that takes time. So meanwhile, you come to a meeting, you're hoping to just make your comments and leave. They have to prove their case. So that takes time. So I'm sorry you had to wait and then you couldn't speak or the day was up and they moved the meeting to the next date. That's not something a resident wants or they're familiar with it. Neither was I when I met Cheryl 30 years ago, who soon will be retiring. We'll talk about that later, but we didn't know. And I'm sorry for that. But no difference, they have to show their testimony. And that's the process that is painful. And that process is cross-examined by the board that they fit certain criteria that we don't work with every day. So I hope I was helpful in that. Yeah. Now, the limit of variances, Counselor?
So if you want to know more about how zoning and the zoning board works and variances that can and can't be granted, it's 40:55-70D. Okay, that's got under it all of the use variances, all of the bulk variances that can be applied for. There's really no limit to the number of bulk variances that you can apply for, bulk variances being issues as to setback, size, dimensional limits, height, any of the structural and dimensional issues that you might come across because you have a unusually shaped property or you've got a build that requires certain things on the inside that push you into the outer limits, or you have certain parking requirements. So you could have an application that has 70 different bulk variances before the board, but good luck proving that it's not detrimental to the zone plan to have that many variances for the property that you want to develop. That's what the zoning code is for, to say this is the type of structure and these are the requirements for what has to fit onto a piece of property if you're going to develop here. The D variances are your use variances, and those are even more strictly regulated and even more strictly enforced. That's if, let's say, I want to build a hotel in a zone that is purely residential, I've got to show that there's special need for that it meets special criteria, that there is some sort of public benefit to putting it where it is and that it's specially suited to the zone. And then not only that, I have to show that there's can be done without substantial detriment to the zone that you're pushing it into. Those are very, very high bars to reach, and that's what Council President is talking about when he talks about what needs to actually be done in front of the board and what you have to prove. Those are well regulated. The statutory authority on it is very clear, very well defined, and the legal backing for it and court history for it is a matter of contention, but is fairly clear when it comes to what you need to prove. That means it all comes down to factually what has been proven, what's been presented, what's the weight of that evidence, and a judge making a call on it. So I can't educate you on how to make a zoning application or how to apply, but I can tell you that there is a very large body of law and some very knowledgeable people in that field that deal with it all the time.
I understand. Thank you for that. Thank you. But my main point
I
is...
apologize, but your time is up.
Okay.
And someone else from your group who has not spoke could confer with you, I didn't say this, and finish your sentences in his formats, but I hope I'd be able to help. And last, like you've mentioned, can anybody do this? Can anybody do that? Challenging. We hope that those who come to the board have weighed their odds before they come here. Could someone do what they want and cause noise in your community if they have money? It would not be a good investment of their time and money because it's going to be problematic to get through those course of regulatory, zoning requirements. But sadly, people can make an application for anything. We don't have control on what people apply for. Pool in your backyard, fence, 10 feet tall. They can make an application. Doesn't mean they'll get the approval. Hope you, and he can, whoever hasn't spoken can come. But I'm going to just move around the room just for a minute. I don't want to be redundant on the same side.
Thank you.
Does anybody, no problem. Thank you, sir. And I'm sure the council will be in touch. Is anybody else from the public that'd like to speak that haven't spoken already? I know we heard from you, Ms. Conway. I'm sorry I was in the back, but I did have you on the YouTube channel. And also, Mr. Brescher, I also heard you comment that we were dysfunctional, and I heard that too.
Thank
you. And I'll make comment about that. But although we're,
Out of the respect thing, I'll go back and forth with you every day, Council President.
It's okay. We do like each other.
Every day.
It's fun. So any other members that would like to speak from the public that hasn't spoke already? Okay. Is your first time speaking, sir? I'm sorry, your time, if you spoke already for your 4 minutes, I can't do that, but I can tell you, we're going to be here afterwards. Councilman, other people you can speak to any member of the council when we get off and we adjourn. I won't take more than 30 seconds. I'm sorry, but it's just, we don't allow it. And I'll tell you why. His favorite quote, and I'll tell you why. We would have to allow other people to do the same thing. It's 4 minutes, that's it. It's a box, it's 4 minutes. Although if another member of your group did not speak, they can come and speak for four full minutes. Next time, you guys can, I apologize. Anybody else from that wants to speak from the public that has not spoken already? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The public portion is now closed. There'll be no further public comments. We're just going to move into the agenda here for the reports from all council committees. From my right, Councilmember Brescher?
None at this time.
None, okay. Councilmember Dima?
None at this time.
Councilmember Kento's not here. Councilmember Patel?
None.
Councilmember Patil?
Yeah, I have a few of them. The first one, we already spoke about the bamboo ordinance, but in terms of the timeline, hopefully by next council meeting, you'll have some updates to this council. Thank you.
Okay.
Sonia, the status of the Stilton Community Center, where we stand on that?
This is, I apologize. We're just going through committees. I'm going to come right back to you in 1 second.
None at this time.
No committees. And Councilmember Asaf Shmel?
Not in this time.
Okay. And then we're going to move over to my right. We have discussion items that were written down, and I'm going to move right to Councilmember Patil.
Okay, let me continue the question. The status of the Stilton Community Center.
We are working through or finalizing the design.
Okay, so is that the study, what we were talking about, the resolution that we passed for the inspections, everything was done? Like to see if we can keep any integral part, or are we going to demo? Is that study done?
Are you talking about the environmental study?
Yes, yeah.
Not yet, not quite.
Not yet? Okay. So, but you said that, you are preparing the design. Does that mean that we are going to keep the footprint, or we're going to demo it, or what that means?
So the current design would keep the shell, essentially, of the building.
Perfect, okay.
So that's what's being considered, rather than obviously creating a new building, or where we have restrictions there, as you know, so we do have to keep the shell of the building.
Yep. So we'll preserve the historic look. That's what I
Yes,
understand.
sir.
Okay, perfect, thank you. How about Toth Center? Any updates on the Toth Center, how far we are?
So completion date, we're looking at the fall. So, but we're still
On target?
We're still on target, yes, sir.
Perfect. Engineering, if I can speak. I have a few questions.
Sure. Brian, would you mind?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm going to be easy. For the road paving, do we do the inspection once the roads are paved?
I'm sorry, can you?
Do we do the inspections once the roads are paved?
We go back at the 2-year mark prior to releasing the maintenance bond.
Okay. Do you mind, I'm going to send an email to Sonia and you can forward to him. Do you mind visiting those streets that I'm going to ask you to inspect?
Not at all.
Absolutely, thank you. And I will also send some pictures with that. That's only the question I had. Thank you, sir.
Right, no problem.
Yep. My next question is, again, I don't know it is good to say that, but there was a robbery next to the substation, and that's concerning to me. I was expecting some phone calls from anyone to update what's happening there. But yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a big presence of police, and many residents in that neighborhood called me. Is that an ICE activity there? Is there any known activity happening in that area?
Are you talking about Oak Tree?
Yes.
Okay, that was a county thing.
Oh, there were county actions there, okay. My next question is the COA contribution. Do we charge for the new single-family houses for the COA contribution? Do they contribute into COA?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
For the new single-family houses, do they need to contribute into the COA funding?
Are you talking about single-family residential?
Yes. Yeah.
No, not for single-family residential.
Brand new?
And I don't believe so. And Council, if you have any additional information?
I don't have any additional information on that. I would have to check with Mr. Zingaro.
Okay, so hopefully by next council meeting, you can update me.
Do you think you could email me the exact question just so I make sure I cover it all?
Yep, we'll do that.
I don't want to forget any part of that.
Sounds good. That's it, Council President.
Okay, thanks, Council Patel. My discussion items, I had a chance to speak to the BA, and I'm waiting for answers on certain questions in regards to the budget. As most of you know, we're going over the budget this time, and members of the council and through the Finance Committee are asking great questions. I want to thank those who are serving. We also have outside members who also are involved, including former council member Alvaro Gomez. So we are in a few rounds of conversation, and that hearing date is set down for July 20th. So, and it won't be sooner than that. So moving right along, a lot of my questions have been answered. I'm not going to go through my point here, but anybody can read my discussion items there. So I'm just going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.